Pearson's start has become appointment viewing for Blue Jays fans, and that's good news tonight because tonight is his third big league start.
Yeah, and he hasn't disappointed. His progress through the minor leagues has been very impressive, and in Washington, the 23-year-old made his major league debut. And he didn't waste any time. He let everybody know he had arrived. He strikes out the first big league batter he faces, Trey Turner, with a great slider. He had a very good fastball in this ball game. Great location. It wasn't quite the same in game two, but he's able to get by with it because he's got such good velocity. He needs to have a little bit better command and fill up the strike zone more with his fastball. I expect him to be much more aggressive in this game tonight against Miami. Look for the fastball in the zone early, and that will complement all of his secondary pitches.
And even though by his own admission he hasn't been at his best, in 10 major league innings, he's given up 3 runs and 4 hits. There's a lot to like about Nate Pearson. The Blue Jays are back at it in their home away from home for the summer. Salem Field in Buffalo. Dan Shulman, Buck Martinez, Arash Madani. Glad to be bringing you Blue Jays baseball tonight as the Blue Jays look for a 2-game sweep in this mini-series over Don Mattingly's Marlins. And I don't know what he's saying, and I don't know who he's talking to, but they best be listening to what Don Mattingly's talking about because he knew how to hit and he knows how to talk about hitting. And he'd probably still hit third in this lineup if he were active right now. Here's a look at the Marlins lineup. Brought to you by TD, proud fan and official bank of the Toronto Blue Jays. They've got a really good player in Brian Anderson. He's been on base in every game this season, plays a really nice third base, hit a home run last night. Maybe not a household name, but a really solid all-round major league player.
Yeah, he's a very good player, good third baseman with a strong arm. Had a home run in last night's game. He's in that 5th spot. Nate Pearson will make his third big league start here tonight, the 23-year-old. He actually made just 1 start in this ballpark last year when he was pitching for AAA Buffalo. He made 3 AAA starts. So he will just pitch for the 2nd time on this mound here in Buffalo. He made 2 good starts, 5 innings in each start, 5 strikeouts in each of those 2 games. There you see his numbers for his 2 starts, and I expect him to be a little more aggressive with his fastball tonight.
He has faced the Nationals and the Braves. No disrespect to the Marlins, but they are not the team, the offensive team, especially missing some of their regulars because of COVID, that the Nationals and the Braves are. That's got to play into his hands a little bit.
No question about it. And I think, he was a little bit overhyped. And, he's heard all of the talk about his potential, what he can be, and I think he's trying to live up to that. But you know what? 3 starts. This is number 3 in the big leagues. And Nate has only pitched 123 1/3 innings in the minor leagues in his entire career. So I think he's got to be a little more patient with himself. His stuff plays up no matter where he pitches. He just doesn't have to try to manufacture velocity. Trust your delivery, trust your catcher, and fill up the strike zone because that stuff is real good. Take a look at the defense for Nate Pearson. In the outfit is Gurriel, Grichuk, and Hernandez. Randall Grichuk made a heck of a play in right center last night. Biggio and Bichette up the middle. Shaw and Gurriel at the corners. And Danny Jansen. I think Danny's a key to Pearson's start tonight. I think they want Danny to be a little more aggressive with the fastball. I think that sometimes when you're calling games for major league pitchers like Ryu, Shoemaker, and Roark, you have a tendency to get a little too fine. I think with Nate Pearson, His stuff is so good, he doesn't have to make pitches on the corner. He has to throw strikes with all of his pitches.
Just the third major league start for Nate Pearson, and by his own admission, not at his best in his last one. But again, you look at his numbers, 10 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. How many major league pitchers would sign up for that in any of their 2 starts, never mind their first 2 starts in the big league? So let's see what tonight has in store for Nate Pearson in his 3rd major league outing. Jonathan Villar will lead it off, the switch-hitting infielder. He's at shortstop again tonight, hitting 200 on the season. 27 degrees Celsius, 81 Fahrenheit in Buffalo, as the Blue Jays and Marlins are ready for another ball game tonight. He's going to show bunt and takes outside ball 1. I don't think he had any intention of bunting that, whether he's just trying to mess with Pearson or wanted to get a good look.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to mess with Nate. Understanding this is just his 3rd big league start, just see how he's going to react.
You can see the shadows, or maybe to put it better, the strip of sunlight on the field. There's a tall office building on the first base side of the field, and you can actually see the outline of it into shallow right field. So that's creating a shadow there. So you've got shadows, sunlight, shadows at various spots at Salem Field. All should be gone probably within an hour or so. In there at 98 for the first strike of the night.
Now, a couple of things I'm going to watch with Pearson tonight, and just watch his delivery. See how often he can stay in line, drive right toward the catcher. That last pitch was an easy delivery, and he got 98 with his fastball. Stay on line.
In the air to center field. And hardly having to move on the play is Grichuk for the first out of the night.
This is at Fenway Park after Nate Pearson's last start. Pete Walker, and I've said this a lot about Pete, I think Pete's a great pitching coach that really has a knack for finishing off young pitchers, to finish off the details and to give them a game plan. And what they're talking about here is, Nate, listen, you don't have to be better than you were in the minor leagues. You just be Nate Pearson. Throw a lot of strikes, trust your fastball, trust your catcher, and try to just pitch ahead. When he pitches ahead, that's when the slider and the changeup become really effective. But now he has already used his fastball and got the first batter to pop up.
Back with the fastball again, and Aguilar a soft liner down to 3rd, and just like that, 2 down.
I think the one thing that Pete Walker wants to emphasize to not only Nate Pearson, but his entire pitching staff, fill up the strike zone. Hitting is hard, and everybody's been talking about how hard it's been this particular year. Make them hit it. And if they hit it hard, you make adjustments. But until they hit it hard, keep going at them.
5 pitches, 5 fastballs, 2 outs for Nate Pearson here in the early going against the Marlins. And the batter now with 2 down will be the left fielder, Corey Dickerson. A little bit outside at 98 for ball 1.
Corey Dickerson is a baseball rat. He will hit and hit and hit, spend time in the cage trying to refine his stroke, trying to refine where his hands are. He's just one of those guys that loves to work at hitting.
Got a changeup there at 91, and we haven't seen him throw a changeup this early in either of his first 2 starts.
Well, Montoya was very pleased with the outcome of the game last night, winning in extra innings after giving up a 3-run lead in the 9th.
In there with a fastball, 2-1.
See how easy he's getting 98 now? Yeah. This is what we saw in spring training, and this is what the minor league coaches have seen. Easy cheese.
We haven't seen him throw 98 in the first inning of either start. He's averaged around 96 miles an hour with his fastball in the first 2 outings. 100. That's the first triple digit we have seen of his big league career.
Yeah, and he said it in his Zoom call with the media last night. He said he had a real good side session with Pete Walker. And you can bet they talked about delivery and mechanics. And, hey, you don't have to try to manufacture 100. You've got it naturally. Now you can throw 1 slider, but they're going to stay with the heater.
Missed inside at 99 to run the count full. I mean, it goes without saying, command at 96 is better than less command at 99. But can he get both? Can he get the command and the velocity? That's what might make him as special as everybody thinks he's going to be.
I think he will get it. I think his delivery is so good, it's so repeatable. He will get that.
Outside, and he walked him.
It's kind of muggy in Buffalo tonight. You can see the perspiration breaking through his jersey. Now he's got to deal with a veteran, Matt Joyce.
Had some good years with Tampa Bay. Blue Jays saw a lot of him back in the early part of his career. He has bounced around a lot since then. Has played with the Angels, Pirates, A's, Braves, and now this year with Miami. Got some pop in his bat. First breaking ball tonight. Was that a curveball? 85?
No, that's a slider. Yeah, that was a slider, but that was a good one. Very patient with it, not trying to really snap off a snapdragon slider. He just knew he had to get ahead with it.
A get-me-over slide.
Yep.
Runner at first, 2 down, just underway in Buffalo.
Again, I think Danny can do a good job for Nate, not trying to be so fine, even with his target up, down, in, and out. Just call for a pitch. You can call location, but sit in a big part of the plate. And Danny talked about that today before the game to the media, talking about how he can help him, and he called it have a presence behind home plate. By doing that, a catcher, he can exaggerate his target. He can point to his glove, say, throw it here, and just really be a leader. Now, the thing that's challenging for both of these guys, they're inexperienced. That's all. They're going to be fine.
One, two. And this one is hit down the right field line, but a well foul.
See, now here's another situation, and that kind of hurt him in the Atlanta game when he got 1 and 2 with Freddie Freeman. Veteran hitters with 2 strikes are looking breaking ball, and you better not throw a breaking ball in the zone to good veteran hitters. And Matt Joyce has been around long enough to know, okay, I'm just going to try to put this in play, and you're messing with danger down and in. Can't get around.
Yeah.
Now, see, that's where a young pitcher is going to read the bat when he learns, okay, he got to my slider and pulled it foul down the right field line. His fastball, watch how late he is. I mean, he's just barely able to get a piece of it. And hitters can't speed up their bat from pitch to pitch.
Again, the 1-2. And it is lined into right center field for a base hit. Up with it is Hernandez on his way to third, and in there ahead of the throw is Dickerson. And a nice at bat by Matt Joyce coming up with a base hit.
He got on top of that fastball, and here he just lines it over the second baseman's head. It just kind of beat him a little bit, but he's got enough of it to hit it into the outfield. Dickerson motors around second, moves into third. Blue Jays were playing in a shift, so Bo Bichette's over there at third base to take the throw.
So after a fly ball and a soft liner, then a walk and a base hit, and it's Marlins on the corners with 2 down for Brian Anderson, who hit a home run off Hyun-Jin Ryu last night. And as you can see from the numbers there, is off to a very good start this season. And does the slider play more in the minds of Pearson and Jansen against a right-handed batter than it does against a lefty?
Yeah, but I still think you have to use your fastball, and I hope they don't get away from it. Brian Anderson's got a lot of swing and miss in his approach. He's got just a 55.6% contact rate.
Fastball missed, ball 2. Don Maddox ecstatically looking on for the Marlins dugout. Charlie Montoyo on the Blue Jays side of the field as they finish up this quick 2-game series here tonight. Fastball hit high in the air to left field. Gurriel turns and watches it fly way out of here. Brian Anderson, with a count in his favor, takes Pearson out of the ballpark, and it's 3-0 Miami.
Got 4 home runs now, 2 of them to the pull side, 2 of them to opposite field, and he's got some power. A 2-out walk to Corey Dickerson kind of kept the inning going, and as the pitch count got up, they had a little bit better feel. So the Marlins have taken a 3-0 lead here. They have now hit 15 home runs in 12 games. They got much more power this year than they've had. And you see that fastball stays on the inner part of the plate and down. And Anderson gets to it. And this ball is way out of here in left field.
And Buck, of the 5 batters that Pearson has faced here this inning, he fell behind 2-0 to 3 of them. Having to throw a lot of pitches, and obviously the more you fall behind, the more you play into the hands of the hitters. And there's ball 1 to Francisco Cervelli.
Now, and Pete Walker, he's got a saying that he talks to his pitchers about: start from the white, go to the black. Don't start from the black and go to the white. That means the plate, of course. The edges of the plate are referred to as the black on the corners. Start from the white and go to the black. And he missed with a couple of sliders upstairs.
Look at the right hand of Francisco Cervelli. If we can get it, he's got, whether it's nail polish or liquid whiteout or whatever it is, something fluorescent orange. Justin Schaefer, former Blue Jay pitcher, Marlin pitcher now, said he was having trouble seeing the signs, might even be tape, seeing the signs from Cervelli last night. So Cervelli has come to the game tonight in an effort to make his signs more visible to the pitchers.
A lot of catchers will use this, and it's just like a fluorescent tape, and they will use fluorescent orange, they'll use bright yellow, just anything to help the pitcher see his fingers.
3-1 the count, as again Pearson tries to battle back into an at-bat, and he walks another one. Second walk given up here in the first inning after Pearson got the first 2 guys. It's been walk, single, home run, walk since, and the next walk's coming from Pete Walker.
Yeah, and it's a timely visit to the mound for sure. I think Nate's battling himself a little bit right now. And somebody's going to start throwing down there. And Pete, he's a very soft-spoken guy, and he's out here saying, listen, remember what we talked about? Your stuff is fine. I know this doesn't start the way you'd hoped it would. But get back in the strike zone, start pitching ahead again. And he had a real good first 2 at-bats, and then he walked Corey Dickerson, a 2-strike base hit by Matt Joyce, and then a fastball that was misplaced a bit. Cost him a 3-run home run.
It's probably very frustrating for Nate himself. He has been so successful on his way up the ladder as Jacob Waguespack starts throwing. And again, from the little we've gotten to know of Nate Pearson in Zoom media calls, he sets very high standards for himself. And this is probably more frustrating for him than it is for anybody else.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a learning process, and I'm not concerned one bit. He's got the makeup, he's got the stuff, he's got the physique. Just a matter of executing your game plans and pitching ahead. I mean, we have talked about it for years. The difference between a hitter batting 0-2 and 2-0 is like night and day.
In the minors, Pearson walked 32 batters in 123 and a third inning. So about 2.5 walks per 9 innings. Good breaking ball there, and it's 0-2. Those are good numbers.
But a lot of that has to do with minor league hitters who will swing at borderline pitches.
Right.
It doesn't happen in the big leagues. But I'm not concerned about his control. I think he's going to be a fine control pitcher. But a lot of those numbers in the minors are a result of everybody swinging at him because he throws so hard.
Alvarez hits one down to third, backhanded stop by Shaw, and a nice recovery to throw him out and retire the side. But a Brian Anderson with a home run, and the Marlins touch up Pearson for 3. Again in the dugout, probably just to try to instill some confidence in the big rookie. Here's the lineup for the Blue Jays tonight. They will come up trailing 3-0 before they ever come to the plate. And Bo Bichette, he's hot right now. He's got 5 extra base hits in his last 5 games. And in his 57 games in the big league, 75 hits, 14 home runs. Both of those are club records. He hit a big home run, a 3-run shot for the Blue Jays last night.
Well, he and Kevin Biggio starting to swing the bats well. Top of the order, they will face 24-year-old Jordan Yamamoto. Just his second start of the season, Yamamoto had a terrific start to his big league career last year. In his first 6 starts, he went 4-0 with a 159 earned run average. In his 7th start, he was injured, went on the injured list. And then his next 7 starts, he had an 0-5 record with an 813 earned run average. So they are looking for that same Yamamoto that started the season last year for him. He came up in June and really got off to a terrific start.
One of the 4 players they got in the Christian Yelich deal. Kevin Biggio leading it off again for the Blue Jays, and Kevin has been doing a terrific job since moving up to the leadoff spot as an on-base percentage of .474 up there in the top spot. Went 2 for 4 with a single, a double, and a walk last night. He'll be followed by Bo Bichette and then Travis Shaw, who had the game-winning hit last night. Biggio fouls it back, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, this is going to be a test for the Blue Jays, and we mentioned they won last night 5-4. They still only got 7 hits in the game. And now your big prospect, your top-notch minor league prospect pitcher gets roughed up in the first. It's time for the offense to do something. Come back and score some runs. And you know what? These guys have a lot of confidence in themselves. They believe that they can turn this thing around, get to 500, and make some noise in this playoff race.
Curveball in for a strike, 2-2 on Biggio.
You can see Jordan Yamamoto, much like the pitcher that started last night, Hernandez, not overpowering with the fastball. He'll pitch up in the zone at 88, 89 miles an hour and then drops that curveball in there for a strike.
And a little bit sharper break on that breaking ball to get Biggio for the first out here in the bottom of the first, bringing up Bo Bichette, who got a pitch to his liking in the 6th inning last night, Buck, and hit it right on out of the ballpark for the first multi-run home run the Blue Jays had hit since opening day.
Yeah, they had a couple of doubles ahead of Bichette. Jansen and Biggio both hit doubles, and then Bo goes deep, a 3-run shot. He's been swinging the bat well. He's got a 6-game hit streak now. His average up to 286.
And whether it's coincident or not, Biggio and Bichette both started hitting better when they flip-flopped in the lineup.
Yeah, they sure did. And you know what? I like the look of it. I like the fact that Kevin's leading off. He gets on base a lot. There are the numbers for Bo's 6-game hit streak. He's got some power. He's not a guy that you would say, wow, this guy's really going to be strong and knock it out of the ballpark. But, man, that bat flies through the zone.
Yep. Yeah, you know what I don't think I've said once this year? Check swing foul off by Bo Bichette. I mean, if he starts it, he finishes it.
Yeah, he sure does. He commits to it,
yeah.
Even with 2 strikes.
And he lines one into left field, down for a base hit. That is the Sun Field tonight. If anybody's going to have trouble, it'll be a third baseman or a left fielder as we check the defense now for the Marlins.
The defense is brought to you by TD, proud fan and official bank of the Toronto Blue Jays. In the outfit is Joyce, Sierra, and Birdie from left to right. Jonathan Villar is the shortstop. He teams up with Eddie Alvarez, and Villar last night made some terrific plays at shortstop. He took a hit away from Vladdy Guerrero in the second. The ball came off the bat at 113 miles an hour. He speared it, got to his feet, and threw to first to retire Guerrero. He's a good player that can play on the infield, short. He can play second, and he can also fill in the outfield.
Shift is on with Travis Shaw at the plate for the Blue Jays. It's it hard down the right field line, but well foul. Shaw with the game-winning hit in the 10th inning last night. Got a slider up in the zone and drove in the winning run with a base hit to right center field. Becoming just the 5th Blue Jay ever who had his first RBI as a Blue Jay be a walk-off RBI. Tomas Perez, the last guy to do it back in 1995.
You know, I went and looked at that list. Steve Braun is on the list. He was a journeyman, came from the Twins. Dave Baker was interesting. He did it in 1982. And the funny thing about Dave Baker's first RBI, he made 3 errors in that game. He was the third baseman, and the first ball they hit to him, he booted. He made 2 more errors in the game, and he ends up winning it. He drove in Garth Orge with the winning run in the bottom of the ninth.
And that's all they're talking about. His name is still on the list 38 years later.
He's had 2 Major League RBIs.
He made the most of them.
Kevin always brings back information from his previous at-bat, explaining it to Grichuk what he saw from Yamamoto, a couple of good curveballs he saw.
Apparently that was a truck on the expressway as the runner is going and no throw. Slow curveball, so Bichette picked a good pitch to run on, and he steals it without a throw.
3 for 3 now in stolen bases, another aspect of what he brings to the team. Good defense is short, power at the plate, and speed on the bases.
Couldn't have picked a better pitch.
No, I think they had a pretty good feel about that pitch count where he's going to get a breaking ball.
So runner at second, 1 out. And he tried to check the swing. They'll appeal. He didn't go, and that's ball 4, and it's 2 men on now for the Blue Jays.
Take on any project with Home Hardware. Proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's how.
Looks like a very nice night just across the border in downtown Buffalo, the home of the Blue Jays for the duration of this 2020 season. They're down 3-0 already, but they got something going here in the bottom of the first. 2 on, 1 out for the cleanup hitter again, right fielder Teoscar Hernandez. Play on at second, and Bichette is back in safely. You know, he's always got the feel of a guy who, as a kid, grew up in a big league clubhouse, spent some time around big league ball players, very self-assured, obviously spent time with his dad, Dante, when Dante was the hitting coach for the Rockies, hung around with guys like Troy Tulowitzki and Nolan Arenado at the beginning of his career.
DJ LeMahieu remembers Bo as a 14, 15-year-old taking batting practice with him. He said we didn't want to hit in the same group because he showed us up.
Just hitting bullets all over the place.
Blue Jays need a run right here just to get back in this game very quickly. They're down 3-0 in the first, and Yamamoto doesn't look real comfortable on the mound just yet.
Yeah, and Bo's in his head a little bit. And again, if you're going to try to steal third with 1 out and a right-handed batter at the plate, is a pretty good time to go. Down 3-0, I don't know if you're going. Power hitter at the plate, but he's definitely in Yamamoto's head a little bit. And they throw down to second. So we've had a pickoff attempt, a step off, and a throw from the catcher down to second in the last 2 or 3 pitches.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be that concerned about the base runner with Teoscar at the plate. He could run into a home run right here, and it's a tie game just like that. I'd want the pitcher focused a little bit more on the batter.
But this means Bo's doing his job out there.
Yes, he is. Both he and Cavan, boy, they've got tremendous baseball instincts.
Alvarez trying to keep him close. Now backs off. And Hernandez lays off the breaking ball down and away, 2-1. Sometimes the threat of the steal is as powerful as the steal itself.
Absolutely. And I don't understand how the stolen base has been so de-emphasized in baseball. But when you get a guy at second base and the pitcher's thinking about him stealing third, it certainly splits his attention.
Off the end of the bat into right center field. Catch will be made, and Bichette is going to tag and head to third. Shaw And now Shaw's hung up between first and second. And did they tag him? Yes, they did. So Shaw got caught trying to go to second, anticipating a throw to third, I guess. And the Blue Jays run themselves out of an inning. The 2020 season, ranking all the farm systems. And they've got the Blue Jays up at number 4. That includes Nate Pearson still being part of the farm system. When you lose your rookie eligibility, Baseball America says you've, quote, graduated from the farm system. So they take you off their list. But you've got guys like Austin Martin in there, Jordan Groshans, Alejandro Kirk, Simeon Woods Richardson.
Alex Manoah.
Alec Manoah, yeah. But Nate Pearson right at the top of the list.
Yeah, they've got some prospects coming.
Fastball to John Birdie, the former Blue Jay, popped up in foul territory. And Guerrero will make the catch.
First strikes of at-bats, first outs of innings are key. There's certain things that pitchers have to do. Get that first batter out, throw that first strike over, and it really makes everything a little bit easier. Especially when you're down the bottom of the order.
Number 9 hitter for the Marlins tonight is their center fielder, Magneuris Sierra, who has played sparingly this year for the Marlins. A lot of up and down, of course, because of the COVID outbreak that saw 18 players test positive. Sierra is 24 years of age, from the Dominican Republic, was part of the Marcell Ozuna deal with St. Louis a few years back, in his 3rd season with Miami, but has never really established himself on a full-time basis.
It's the 4th game he's played against the Blue Jays. He's just 2 for 11 in those 3 previous games.
And this one is popped up. Guerrero with a look, but it looks like it's going to be well back out of play. Well, there's lots of blue in Salem Field. They Blue Jayed it up, didn't they?
Well, they sure did. They did such a great job with the stadium, really putting a Blue Jays brand on it. And high changeup got away from him. And you know, we talk about delivery and everything else and mechanics. And in the first inning, Dan, he hit 100 miles an hour. Very easy, and the ball jumped out of his hand. And now he's got back to trying to force things a little bit. He's got to get back to where he was early. That's a good pitch. He drove it right to the bottom of the zone. I think Nate's going to understand you shoot for bigger parts of home plate. Don't try to be so fine. And like I said, he's got all the attributes to be a good major league pitcher for a long time.
Ground ball down to first. Easy play for Guerrero, 2 down. Let's go back to the base running that ended the bottom of the first. It was runners at first and second with 1 out, and Teoscar Hernandez hits a fly ball to fairly deep right center field, and deep enough that Bo Bichette is easily going to tag and go to third. Shaw, who does not run well, goes halfway to second, and the only thing I can think of is he thought the throw was going to go straight to third base, and he'd be able to sneak into second. But as soon as it was cut by the shortstop, he was done.
Yeah, and there was no reason to run on that. And the Blue Jays haven't run the bases well at all. They've made a lot of mistakes, and they've lost a lot of base runners. But on that play, as a runner from first, you just run, and then the ball, you watch the cutoff, and it was right to the cutoff man, and we showed where you are at shortstop. He just cut it, looked over to first, and made an easy play of it.
Fastball a little bit in on his hands and lifted into shallow right field, and it drops in between Hernandez and Biggio.
I thought that was going to be up there long enough for one of them to make a play. Take a look at the second baseman and the outfielder here as they converge on this shallow pop-up. And Cavan's got his eye on it, and he expects Hernandez to be there, but it drops in between both of them, and it's hard to fathom that that wasn't caught. And now you got to deal with VR at first, who's a base-stealing threat.
So here's Jesus Aguilar with a runner at first, 2 down. I wonder, we just saw that reaction from Nate Pearson as well, and I wonder if they'll talk to him about it. Joe Siddall was talking about it earlier with Hazel. to show that much emotion or to show some frustration. Don't let the hitters get in your head. Don't let the situation get in your head. But again, he expects so much from himself. Thought he was out of the inning right there.
Yeah, and you just have to stay focused on your target, on your catcher, on the hitter. I played with, to me, the best pitcher in franchise history. And he always showed a lot of emotion.
Yes, he did.
Dave Steve. And you know what? It aggravated people from time to time, but he was so competitive and had his, held himself to such a high standard that he couldn't understand how things were not going his way.
But did it hurt him sometimes?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Did it annoy you sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. No, yeah, it used to get to me, but you know what? When we were friends then, we're still friends now, and it was just the way he was. He was so competitive and so good. But yeah, he did it all the time. Just, he wasn't pointing out any of his teammates or anything. He was just frustrated that he didn't get an out on a pitch he made.
Runner is going. Pitch taken for a strike, and the throw down is not in time. A stolen base for VR.
It's his third steal of the season. He's yet to be caught. I mentioned last night he led the National League in stolen bases with 62 while playing with the Brewers in 2016. He's a good player. And we have highlighted him on defense, and he's a switch hitter, and he's a good player. And he's had some trades. He's moved around: Houston, Milwaukee, Baltimore, and now Miami.
The 2-1. And went with a slider. Got a foul off, 2-2. Pitch count climbing on Pearson here. The walks in the first inning, a 2-out base hit. And again, a lot of 2-0 counts tonight against the Marlins. So he's having to work hard tonight. And he missed outside with a slider to run the count full. Pearson taking a little extra time to get set out of the mound. Now looking into Jansen. And a broken back ground ball to short. Up with it, Bichette. And the side is retired. So a 2-out base hit.
It was matter of fact. He said, "We are not afraid to play him." And when Alvarez dug into the box for the first time, he said that moment gave him the same jitters as walking into the opening ceremony as an Olympian, Dan, for the very first time.
It's just such an unusual and such a cool story to see a guy who won a silver medal as an Olympic speed skater several years later make it to the major leagues as a ball player. Just a great story.
Yeah, he's 30 years old, and it's taken him a while to get here, but good on him. Stayed with what he loves to do, and he accomplished, as Arash stated so perfectly, 2 dreams.
And I don't know what he'll do next after his playing days are over, but I'd put a nickel down on him being successful at it, because he's obviously got a lot of
focused,
and determination, and doesn't give up easily. He's fought through a lot of injuries in both sports.
Played high school ball in Miami, went to Salt Lake City to a junior college, and here he is playing second base in the big leagues.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. leading off the bottom of the second for the Blue Jays and fouls off that breaking ball, 2-2. There was a base hit in the first for Bichette, a walk issued to Shaw, but Shaw was caught trying to advance from first to second on the fly ball to center as Bichette went to third, so that ended the Blue Jay threat in the bottom of the first. And that'll find a hole between Alvarez and VR into left field, a base hit.
Now they had 3 defenders on the left side of second base, and he still hit it hard enough to split the defenders. Lead off single here, second hit for the Blue Jays.
Well, every time you take a shot of the dugout, you see that's a 25-year-old and a 22-year-old, and in the background is a guy who's turning 24 next week.
Yeah, and that's why the fans and people who follow the Blue Jays have to be patient with this team. They're the youngest position player roster in Major League Baseball, and it's going to take them a while to iron out all the kinks. But the talent is legit, and they're going to be fine. And when you look at them, we talked about this, how inexperienced they are. And it's just going to take a while to get their feet on the ground and establish themselves as Major League players. And they've got the right manager at the helm, in my mind. Managed 18 years in the minor leagues. He's always dealt with young players. And I think he understands you're going to have to deal with mistakes. And the Blue Jays have made their share of mistakes early in this season.
Tell me if you buy this at all. If there had been no such thing as the pandemic, and this were a 162-game season with 5 teams in the playoffs, I think from the outside looking in, most people would look at this year as more of a developmental year for the Blue Jays.
Oh, no question about it.
But in a 60-game season with 8 teams making the playoffs, I think, and probably rightly so, the focus has shifted. And again, I'm talking about externally. The focus has shifted where people are saying, go win games. 8 teams are getting in. You should be one of them.
Yeah, and I don't know how fair that is, but if there were a minor league season, Pearson, Kay, Hatch, and Barucki would all have been starting in AAA. Gaining more experience,
yep.
Getting their experience and logging more innings. But you're right. I think because of that last little announcement they made before the start of the regular season.
Like 20 minutes before the season started.
It kind of encouraged everyone, oh, we can get to the playoffs. Well, I don't know how realistic that is. Yeah, if everything goes perfect and, everybody pitches well and you don't make any mistakes and you run the bases better, maybe you got a shot.
This guy's a big part of it, obviously. Pretty good stop there by Cervelli, who's always been a very athletic catcher.
Yeah, he's a terrific catcher, and he was thought to be the backup catcher on this team, but Jose Alfaro opted out of the season, and Cervelli's doing most of the catching. And you talk about a guy that can mentor young pitchers. Grew up in the Yankee organization. They emphasized catch first, and he's been a good catcher. He's had a nice career. Got a chance to play every day in Pittsburgh and came through and did a good job for the Pirates.
Two and out of play. I think they've got a shot. They could be one of those 8.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think they can be 4 or 5 or anything like that, but I think they can be one of those 8. But you're right, they've got to clean up the mistakes.
Yeah, that's up to the players just to police one another and say, hey, man, you can't run into outs on the bases. You can't steal when we shouldn't be stealing.
If you look at other teams, and the standings may not indicate it, but I look at teams like the Angels and the Rangers and the White Sox. White Sox are good. White Sox are probably a year ahead of the Blue Jays on the developmental spectrum right now. They're a little further along. 2-2 and a big slow curveball gets Guerrero, and you can see a little frustration for Vladdy as he makes his way back to the dugout.
Yeah, Yamamoto has used this slow breaking ball. It's his second strikeout. He got Gavin Biggio to start the game with a slow hook, and Vladdy was out in front.
Guerrero now 0 for his last 7, 0 for 5 in the 2 games so far in Buffalo, and here's Randall Grichuk getting his first at-bat of the night. Getting Guerrero's bat going is a big part of it. It's not the only part of it. He probably gets a little bit more attention as compared to some other players than he should. But if they're going to be a good offensive team, he's got to be a part of it.
Well, and if you really look at the makeup of this lineup, and we'll talk about this lineup tonight because that's what's most current, they still need a veteran presence in the middle of their order. They need somebody like Edwin Encarnacion, Nelson Cruz, somebody that you can count on night in and night out to have good at-bats. But that's what we were talking about in last night's game, is if you allow these young core players to develop and they get to the point where, okay, now you know what you have, Then you go out and you bring in a big bat, you bring in a big center fielder, maybe a big shortstop, and make some adjustments, but the core is going to be fine.
3-0 on Grichuk. Well, 5 runs last night was the first time in 7 games they have scored more than 3. They all believe that it's a better offensive team than they've shown this far. From what we can tell from the outside, from our ability to get information, I don't think their confidence has taken as much of a hit as maybe people on the outside might think it has. I still think they think they're okay, and they're going to be okay.
Oh, I agree with you. In talking to the players that we have and the coaches and the manager, I think they all believe, hey, we can get this thing turned around. And here you have Mel Stottlemyre Jr., the pitching coach, coming out of the Marlins dugout. I think he's concerned about pitch selection, how Yamamoto's got a 3-run lead here, and he's using breaking balls to walk a batter. And now he's looking at the veteran catcher saying, hey, man, we got to be more aggressive with our fastball. And you know what? The whole league, you and I have talked about this at length so far, the whole league has become breaking ball. Major League Baseball, the fastball has been de-emphasized by all the pitchers. And guys are throwing harder than ever. I don't get it. When you look at the baseball Major League average, it's about 232. Throw it over.
Here's Rowdy Tellez, DHing and hitting 8th. Tellez was not in the lineup last night. Joe Panik was in the DH spot. Rowdy is back in there tonight. And he's off to a slow start, hitting 143. Does have a home run. He's driven in 5.
In this situation as a hitter, and Rowdy's got tremendous power. We all know that. You've got to pick out an area of the plate that's about the size of a basketball. And if it's not in there, don't swing at it. Get your pitch.
Slow curve on a 1-0 pitch, and Tellez swings over the top of it.
You know, everybody on the Blue Jays had a good summer camp swinging the bats. And I don't think they did a lot of studying of their teammates. They just went up there and looked for the ball and swung the bats and hit the ball well. Then you get into the season and everybody gets ramped up in scouting reports and videos and what's his spin rate and how often does he throw his breaking ball, and you forget to look for the baseball.
Bouncer foul, 2-2 now on Tellez.
And now as a hitter with 2 strikes, you just look for the ball.
Yep.
Try to put it in play. And we talk about Yogi Berra all the time and all the great things he said. I asked him one time, what's your hitting philosophy? Look for the fastball until you get 2 strikes and then protect the plate.
Worked pretty well for him.
You don't hear protect the plate anymore. Be a tough out.
I've told you this story before, and David Eckstein's a very different kind of hitter than most of these guys, but I asked David Eckstein once what his hitting philosophy was, and he said, make that guy throw another pitch. If I can make him throw another pitch, that's a win for me. Every time I make him throw another pitch, the pendulum swings in my favor. Now, again, a very different kind of hitter.
He killed me. He hit 2 grand slams in the same series in Anaheim.
When you were managing? Yeah. he made you throw another pitch?
Yeah, he did.
You know, Yamamoto's command is all over the place right now. He's walked a couple, some deep counts, and he doesn't appear to want to throw fastballs to most of these.
He doesn't want to throw strikes. That's the problem.
And he got him, 86 in the middle of the zone. He strikes out Tellez, 2 down.
I'm not even sure what this pitch is. It might be a cutter. You see the cut spin on it, but it backs up.
Yeah, it didn't move much.
No, that's what happened. It was a backup cutter. But it was still right down the middle with 2 strikes.
So 2 down now for Danny Jansen. Last night, Jansen, after striking out his first time up, had to double his second time up, walked his third time up, and then got the sacrifice down. He bunted in the bottom of the 10th, advancing the ghost runner, or however you want to call it, Anthony Alford III. The Blue Jays eventually winning on the base hit by Shaw. So a more productive night at the plate for Jansen, who, like a lot of his teammates, is struggling in the early going.
This is his 11th start of the season, and he has gotten majority of the work. The Blue Jays are playing in their 15th game.
Boy, Cervelli's active back there, making hand signals and trying to get people's attention. And is he calling out to Alvarez or Villar, like, stay alert out there in case I throw down?
You know what he does? He'll move the infielders around. According to what pitch he calls, if he sees somebody out of position, he'll make a call and move them. There, he smothers that curveball in the dirt. See, he's moving people around, and you stay over there, and we're going to throw this pitch.
He's the quarterback on the field.
That's an old-fashioned catcher right there. Most teams now have guys in the dugout that move the infield around, but he knows what he's going to call. He says, come on, give me your best stuff right here.
You love that energy behind the plate, don't you?
You know, the team takes on the personality of your catcher.
Pointing down to third base. Jansen skies one to center field. And the Blue Jays will leave a couple of men on. They have stranded 3 through the first, just a couple of miles away from where we are. But I'll tell you, there's some folks working overtime at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto and Rogers Place in Edmonton to keep the Stanley Cup playoffs humming along.
Yeah, so far so good. It has really worked out pretty well.
Top of the third, Dan Shulman, Buck Martinez, Arash Madani, and the Marlins on a first-inning home run by Brian Anderson have a 3-0 lead against Nate Pearson and the Blue Jays. This is Corey Dickerson, who walked his first time up. If you weren't with us, Pearson got the first 2 batters relatively quickly, but then walked Dickerson, gave up a base hit to Matt Joyce, and then fell behind Brian Anderson, who hit a fastball over the left field fence for a 3-run homer. Slider in there, 1-1. Marlins are 7-4 on the season. They have lost 3 in a row. Lost their last 2 to the Mets before they came to Buffalo. Lost last night. They've got some games to make up. And that one just flies out of the hand of Pearson and hit the backstop on the fly.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was a changeup, and he was having trouble getting the grip in his glove. He was rolling the ball around in his glove, and he never really got comfortable. I don't think he ever got a real good grip on it, and it just flies out of his hand. But he was rolling it around in his glove, just trying to get the changeup grip, and I don't think he ever got there.
Now Dickerson loses the handle on that foul off, and it's 2-2.
And probably went over the head of Matt Joyce on the on-deck circuit. Says, hey, don't do that anymore. Hold on to that bat. I'm standing over here. Everything is so close, obviously, in this ballpark. Not much foul room, not much area for the hitter to get out of the way.
Salem Field, home of the AAA Bisons, capacity about 16,000. Obviously, capacity not an issue right now. You can see the fan cutouts behind the plate. And that's a fair ball. Dickerson did what he could with that, just poked it the other way, and he's got himself a base hit.
Been on base both times. He walked with 2 outs in the first inning, and he stays on this breaking ball and keeps it fair down the left field line. Watch the approach. Chokes up on the bat. He's got great bat control. That wasn't a bad pitch, but he stays on it. Watch the commitment of his upper body. Just stays on that pitch, and he's able to get the barrel on it down the left field line. That's the value of choking up on your bat, having a short stroke, and especially with 2 strikes.
And now Matt Joyce, who had a base hit to right field his first time up against Pearson. Changeup looked like there, misses low for ball 1. And really, other than the first two batters of the night, again, Pearson's kind of been fighting it tonight. He's been fighting his command. Didn't give up anything in the second other than the bloop base hit. A ground ball will sneak through into right for a base hit. And around second, on his way to third, comes Dickerson. And here come the Marlins again. First and third, nobody out.
Well, when you pitch from behind, you give the hitters an opportunity to narrow their choices of what they're going to look for. And that's just a fastball right out over the middle of the plate. And Joyce pulls it hard on the ground, past Guerrero into right field. But we've talked about pitching ahead, throwing strikes, and after those first two batters, Nate just hasn't been able to throw strike one.
And Jacob Waguespack is up for the second time tonight. He got up very briefly in the first inning before Pearson was able to secure the third out. And here's the guy who got Pearson last time. Brian Anderson hit a 3-run homer. And that one a little bit up in the zone, but he gets a swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, he hit a fastball out of the ballpark, so they've thrown him 2 sliders now, and I think you can still throw him fastballs. You just have to make better pitches with it. But he's been swinging the bat much better of late. 3 home runs in his last 8 games. But now you can elevate the fastball and see if you can get him to chase upstairs.
That's what they tried, but too far upstairs, and Anderson wouldn't chase.
So now, if you're a veteran hitter, what are you thinking this next pitch is going to be?
Slider down and away.
Yeah, you got to go upstairs again. Just bring it down a little bit. Looked like a changeup that ran inside to Anderson.
Last thing he was looking for.
Well, he checked his swing and got it off the barrel of the bat.
The 1-2. And a slider, yes, he did. And he's punched out at the plate by Roberto Ortiz, the home plate umpire. That's out number 1 and the first strikeout tonight for Pearson.
Yeah, they went to the slider, and this one is off the plate, and Anderson went too far. He commits after it, and you can see that's an easy call for the home plate umpire.
Now, the last thing that Pearson wants is to not even be able to finish this inning and have to have Charlie Montoyo come out and get him in the middle of an inning. Here's Francisco Cervelli. Walked his first time up.
Good double play candidate. Keep it down, get him on the ground. This is a hard slider, and you can see Cervelli saw it immediately right into the dirt. Of course, he had the big swing in the 9th inning last night on a 3-0 pitch, hit a 3-run home run to tie it.
Another slider and take it low again. Would you like to see more fastballs?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know that Anderson hit a fastball out of the ballpark, but still, you have to, if you throw so many sliders, you throw one bad one, they're going to be all over it. Nate's got 4 good pitches.
We have seen the curveball sparingly in his time in the big leagues. Slider again. Do you think he thinks that he can't get the swings and misses with his fastball that he's used to getting in the minor leagues?
I don't know. I really don't know. But, you know, his fastball is too good. You can't give up on your fastball when you throw. We've seen him throw 100 tonight.
Yep.
And now with veteran hitters like we have seen with Joyce and Anderson and Dickerson, and he walked them on a 3-0 slider.
4 sliders in a row to Francisco Cervelli.
Yeah, he hit a 3-0 fastball out of the ballpark. First time he's ever hit a 3-0 home run. And Pete Walker's got to be a little bit frustrated right now. You know, we talk about hitters not being able to look at video mid-game, live video, to go back and check out their previous at-bats. It's an issue for pitching coaches, too, because you can't see where the pitches are on the plate. You can't see where the catcher's setting up. And Pete always would make adjustments with his pitcher and his catcher after looking at video in between innings. But now, because of what's happening in Houston and Boston, that you can't have any live video from that game. And it's a hindrance for pitching coaches, too, not just the hitters.
The bases are loaded with 1 out. A couple of base hits and a 4-pitch walk. And the batter is Eddie Alvarez, who grounded out his first time up. Switch hitter batting from the left side. And a changeup misses outside, ball 2, and he just can't locate right now. And I guess that's the means of communication with the bullpen in Buffalo to see if Waguespack is ready.
Walkie-talkies down to the bullpen. Jacob's got to be ready by now. He's had plenty of time to get loose.
Dickerson, the runner, at third. Joyce is at second. Cervelli's at first. The Marlins already up 3-0 here in the 3rd inning. Wow. This has got to be just beyond frustrating for him, because this is not who he is.
Yeah, and his delivery is all out of whack here, and we saw it easy with the first 2 batters. He had a good delivery. He was under control, and it's 50-50 on his ability to throw strikes.
How about Alvarez getting the 3-0 green light from Don Mattingly?
Well, really, the Marlins, of course, they can roll the dice on just about anything. There's no high expectations for them, and they're trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. You know, Mattingly, he likes to hit. He likes hitters to hit.
And he missed up and away to walk in a run. And you wonder if that's going to be all, if Charlie Montoyo is going to come out and get him. It is now 4-0, and that's the 4th walk surrendered, and here comes Charlie.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have to make a decision that to allow a young pitcher to continue to struggle like this is counterproductive. And there'll be better days, no doubt about that, for Nate Pearson. And it looks like Jacob Waguespack is coming into the ball game.
So a tough one for Pearson tonight. He does not get out of the 3rd, and the Blue Jays are in a hole. Inning, the Blue Jays down 4-0, gave up 3 in the 1st on a home run, walked in a run here with the 3rd inning, and now Jacob Waguespack is out there for the Blue Jays, inheriting a bases-loaded 1-out situation.
Waguespack last pitched on Friday in Boston. He pitched an inning and a 3rd. He gave up a hit, walked a couple, and struck out 2. He threw 38 pitches in that game Friday night against the Red Sox.
And a big slow curveball misses upstairs for ball 1. John Birdie is the batter, popped up in foul territory his first time up. Matt Joyce around to 3rd after the bases loaded walk. Francisco Cervelli is at 2nd, and Eddie Alvarez is the runner at 1st. And at the knees, 1-1. Talk about a guy coming at you on a downhill plane. That's Jacob Waguespack when he buries that fastball down at the knees.
Yeah, he's got a high arm angle, and he creates a tough angle for hitters. And the Blue Jays, they've got some big pitchers now. Romano and Pearson and Waguespack, big, strong guys. Waguespack has a little bit of a hesitation, kind of like a wrist wrap, not unlike Rick Sutcliffe of the Cubs.
I knew you were going to say Rick Sutcliffe.
I'm an old guy. But yeah, he's got that little wrist cock down there behind him, and that just creates a timing challenge for hitters. A lot of arms and legs coming at you. There's not a normal rhythm to his pitches. There's a little hesitation in the middle.
And you know what? His is not a glamorous role on this team. No. It's to come in when things are going sideways and to eat up some innings and to save some of the higher leverage guys. But, you know, it serves a purpose. It might not help you win tonight. It might help you win another day as he strikes out Birdie for out number 2.
Well, that's a big out. Get that first out coming into a ball game, bases loaded, get yourself into a position, a lazy fly ball, you get out of the inning. And you can see that long, lean delivery, and he drives it right toward home plate.
So 2 down, the bases remain loaded. And here's the center fielder, Magneuris Sierra, who grounded out his first time up.
Danny Jansen had a pickoff play put on at first base, but I don't think Vladdy Guerrero saw it. But he was coming out of the chute thinking about a back pick at first, trying to end this inning.
You know, Eddie Alvarez had a huge secondary lead because he saw how far back Guerrero was. You're right, Jansen was in on the plan, but Vladdy was where he was. 0-1, the count on Sierra. Foul down the left field line, and it's 0-2. You know, in a ballpark where there are no fans and you can hear everything that's being said in each dugout, and we've heard some noise every now and again. I think Jesus Aguilar, he's the most likely candidate in my mind to be the guy who's making a lot of that noise. He is a gregarious fella, and I'm sure he is loud in that Marlins dugout the way that things are going for them so far tonight.
Yeah, he's one of those energy guys that you love to have on your team, and he's always into the ball game. He's probably encouraging Sierra to come through with a big 2-out hit. Waguespack has the upper hand.
Oh, 2. Some funny swings here from Sierra.
Yeah, he's not picking up the ball very well out of Waguespack's hand. Jacob has stranded 2 of the 3 inherited runners he has been given prior to this appearance. Of course, he inherited the bases loaded.
And again, the 0-2. And a bouncer down to Guerrero. Can he recover in time? He cannot. Sierra is safe, and a run will score.
Boy, speed, it really puts pressure on the defense, and once Sierra saw that ball go off the glove of the first baseman, he really hustled down the line. Ground ball to the first baseman, Guerrero. Comes over, can't make the play on it. It plays him, and by the time he recovers, the ball's in foul territory, and he is too late with the dive at first. Good job by Sierra to slide into their bag. Bang, bang at first, but the call on the field is safe, and now the umpires are going to have a review here. Blue Jays have asked them to have a look at that play.
Doesn't feel with the naked eye like they've got much of a chance of winning this one, so they'll lose their challenge.
Look very convincing that they could turn it over.
The scoring on the play, assuming it stands up, is an error charged to Guerrero. No RBI on the play.
Matt Joyce comes in to score, at least for the time being. Now, Waguespack was there, but Vladdy didn't have time to make a throw to the pitcher. That looked like a little bit closer than I thought initially, but the umpires are taking a lot of time looking at this. It has to be pretty obvious for umpires to turn over a call on the field.
Yeah. And I'm not sure there's anything that would turn it in that direction. Headsets are coming off, and we'll find out soon. And he's safe. So E3, no RBI. The run comes in to score to make it 5-0. And this has not been a pretty start to this game for the Blue Jays in any respect. Nate Pearson did not have a good night. An error now on Guerrero. Base running mistake earlier by Travis Shaw. It's not been a good start to this game.
Not at all. And it's unfortunate after an emotional win last night. And now they've got to dig back from a 5-0 deficit.
Top of the order, Jonathan Villar hit a fly ball to center his first time up, had a base hit and stole a base his second time up. So when your leadoff man comes up for the third time and it's the third inning, you know things are going well for that side. Shows bunt, and that hits off the mid and then the shin guard of Danny Jansen, and a run comes in to score. And again, maybe just him squaring is messing people up a little bit.
I don't understand. That was just a fastball. He just squares around, and it's inside, and it goes off Jansen's glove. That should be a pass ball.
Actually hit the umpire's leg, not Jansen's leg.
And you know what? Just a fastball on the inside part of the plate. That's going to be another run. And can anything else go wrong?
We'll wait for the scoring, but either way, it is now 6-0 for the Marlins. And a changeup misses inside as Waguespack falls behind 2 balls, no strikes. So now Alvarez has come around to third. Sierra has advanced to second on the pass ball, what we assume is a pass ball. Pitch in the dirt, ball 3. And it is a pass ball, we are now told. 3-0 meanwhile. And ball 4, another walk, and the bases are loaded again.
That's 5 walks the Blue Jays have given up so far in this game, and there's 2 outs here in the third inning. And Jordan Yamamoto's been sitting on the bench so long, he feels like he needs to get up and stretch out a little bit, stay loose.
He'll take the run support. Bases are loaded, 2 down, and here's Aguilar, the 9th Marlin to come to the plate here in the third inning. Boy, and all the energy that they may have gotten, even though they gave up the lead in the 9th inning last night, to find a way to win in the 10th, get a much-needed victory in their first game in Buffalo, all that energy just totally dissipated here in the first 2.5 innings of this game.
You know, they always talk about that. How is momentum, and how do you gauge momentum? Momentum's the next day's starter. That's how you continue it. You just have to get a good start. And that wasn't the case tonight.
Fastball, late swing and a miss there, 1-2. And Biggio was not on the bag. And now on the throw down to second, Alvarez came home. Danny Jansen threw down to second to try to pick off Sierra, and the runner from third, Alvarez, came home on the play.
Yeah, and there's nobody at second base. You can see Biggio didn't pick up on the sign. It happened with Jansen earlier when he thought about making a pickoff throw to first, and Guerrero didn't pick up the sign.
Well, when you rhetorically asked a couple of minutes ago what else can go wrong,
yeah, I've been answered, yeah.
Geez. 2-2 on Aguilar.
But watch, Biggio doesn't go toward the bag as if to suggest that Jansen put on a sign, but maybe he didn't. He just comes up firing, and Alvarez comes home easily.
So if I'm not mistaken, the runs, and my scorecard is getting kind of messy, the runs have scored this inning on a walk, a pass ball, an error, and then a pickoff play down to second where they didn't pick anybody off. And And the scoring on the play, Alvarez is actually being credited with a steal of home. So it's not, has nothing to do with the throw down to second in terms of the scoring. So give him a steal of home.
He's had a couple of firsts tonight.
He has.
First RBI.
Yep.
Actually, that's his second stolen base.
And Aguilar shoots one into right field for a base hit. Rounding third, heading home. The tag at third, they got him. The question is, did the runner cross the plate first? And you've seen as much as we've seen, so we'll have to wait and see if that run will count. The umpire would have made a signal by now, but we'll have to figure it out during the break and let you know. But it has been nothing short of ugly for the Blue Jays here tonight. The run did count, so the runner crossed the plate before Villar was thrown out at third. So it is 8-0 for the Marlins. Going to the bottom of the third inning. And the Blue Jays have their work cut out for them, to say the least. Now, earlier we were told that Alvarez was credited with a steal of home, but apparently that is not the case.
No.
So now he has scored. In effect, it's a fielder's choice.
Right.
Because the catcher threw down to second.
Play to second. Right.
So what we thought is what we thought, and that's what it is. So got to get my white out. The scorecard's messy. And I'm sure yours is too.
Yeah.
That was a messy inning in every respect. Biggio pulls a ground ball out into shallow right, and Alvarez will throw him out by a step, one down.
Alvarez, it's just a small sampling, but he's an interesting guy. You know, that easily had a 3-hit game Sunday, his first 3 major league hits.
It'll be interesting what the Marlins do, Buck. I mean, eventually their regular guys who are out with COVID are going to start coming back. But I would imagine a few guys have made enough of an impression with the team right now that they might get to stay.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when of course, they got a lot of guys coming back. Hopefully they'll get healthy and be able to join the team. I got a question for you. How come St. Louis hasn't done this?
Continued to play.
Go down into their 60-man pool and add 17 players like the Marlins have done.
Bichette sends one off the end of the bat into center field for a base hit. What I think is that they haven't had enough consecutive days of negative tests yet. So I think they have to have, otherwise you just have to take all of the guys on the active roster and not allow any of them to play and take all 30 from the site.
Because there's a possibility that somebody was exposed. The incubation period hasn't been significant enough to really get a judgment on it.
Yeah, so I think they're waiting for, I don't know if it's 3 days or however many days it is, where everybody tests negative. And I saw today a note that they had another day with no positive tests today. And the Cardinals, I think, last I saw, are supposed to go up to Chicago. I think it's against the White Sox.
White Sox to play Friday.
Friday, right.
Yeah.
And that game, one of the games was moved from a day game to a night game to give them another morning to get more test results. But St. Louis, as we speak, has still only played 5 games, and some teams are playing their 20th game tonight. And a swing and a foul tip, and that'll be all for Shaw.
Well, that's a pretty good cutter right there. Like movement on it, down and in. With 2 strikes trying to protect the plate. He got a piece of it, but Cervelli hangs on for the strikeout. That's 4 strikeouts for Jordan Yamamoto. This ball is just barely tipped by Shaw, and Cervelli's able to hold on to it.
Here's Teoscar Hernandez, who takes a pitch in the dirt. Hernandez hit a fly ball to center field his first time up. Off day for the Blue Jays tomorrow. Then they start a stretch of 28 games in 27 days. The Rays are in over the weekend before the Blue Jays head to Baltimore for the first time this year. Haven't seen the Orioles yet.
Orioles are kind of hanging in there. They're 8-7. They've actually had a positive run differential. They're getting a little bit better pitching, and they have some guys swinging the bats pretty well.
hit high in the air to deep left field, and this looks like a no-doubter for Teoscar Hernandez. Blue Jays are on the board, now trailing 8-2.
Homer number 5 for Teoscar, and he got a pitch up around the letters, and he didn't miss it. He's been hitting that fastball this year. He's off to a decent start. It's just the bottom of the third. You know what? There's a lot of time for this club to come back. You got to string hits together. Bo Bichette's had 2 hits tonight, 2-run home run for Teoscar.
If we see where this one hits, there's that 60-foot net out beyond the left field wall to protect Oak Street from having errant home run balls land on the street. It looked like Teoscar's home run was about halfway up that netting. The wind, we are told, generally blows from right to left at Salem Field, coming off Lake Erie.
Yeah, that one was crushed way up on that netting.
And strike 3 called. Gurriel not happy with the call, but the Blue Jays are retired. They do get on the board. A 2-run shot by Teoscar Hernandez. Still got some work to do, obviously. Down 8-2 now at the end of 3. Have played in this ballpark. Bo Bichette actually brought it to the attention of Blue Jays management, and on the day when it was announced that the Blue Jays would be playing in Buffalo, Aaron Judge commented on it from afar. And he's, 6'7", and it was still bugging him. So for the shorter guys, probably even more. But it was the first thing that I heard from any visiting player about the Blue Jays playing in Buffalo was Aaron Judge didn't like the batter's eye.
Yeah, and that's unusual to have a batter's eye directly in center field. It's got the video board on it, and it's oftentimes Kansas City is an example of how high their video board is in Kauffman Stadium. But oftentimes it's off to the side, or certainly at Rogers Center, it's way out of view.
Jacob Waguespack took over for Nate Pearson with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Pearson gave up 7 runs, 5 earned tonight in 2 1/3, walked 4, surrendered 1 home run. And it's been a tough night for Charlie Montoyo's Blue Jays, to say the least.
Yeah, and the mistakes more than anything. We've had a couple of apparent pickoff plays that the infielders didn't pick up on it. Nobody covered the base, and that allowed 1 run to score when Danny Jansen threw down to second.
Back to Pearson, too, and I'm sure this will be asked after the game, but I couldn't crunch all the numbers between the innings. But in the first inning, I think he threw 26 pitches, and 20 of them were fastballs. And he totally went away from his not totally, but largely went away from his fastball in the 2nd and 3rd innings.
Yeah, he never got back to it. And it was just basically, he walked Dickerson with 2 outs, and that started that inning. 65 pitches for Nate Pearson. This was his 3rd major league start. 6 earnings, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. Certainly not the same type of outing he had in his first 2 big league starts, but this is the toughest part for a pitcher, especially a young pitcher. You got to wait now 5 days before you get a chance to pitch again, and all you can think about is getting back on the mound, an opportunity to redeem yourself. But that's the hardest part of starting. You got to sit around after a bad one. A hitter goes 0 for 4, and he's going to have 4 at-bats the next night.
Yeah, reliever might get in there the next night.
Yeah.
Not a starter. Quickly 0-2 on Matt Joyce. Joyce has been in the middle of both big innings. He's got a couple of base hits and a couple of runs scored. And another bouncing ball. Guerrero has it. Long feed to Waguespack, covering 2 down as we get an update with Hazel.
He should be at second base.
right, Hazel, thank you. Rays are starting to play better, and the Red Sox are in last place right now in the American League East at 6-11 entering the game tonight.
And they announced today they put Andrew Benintendi on the injured list with a rib cage injury. He was really scuffling when the Blue Jays saw him.
Strike taken by Brian Anderson. Yeah, Boston, their pitching is so thin. Still a pretty good lineup, but their pitching is so thin right now, and this looks like it could be a total rebuilding year, that there could be some trades made, and the Red Sox might start thinking about 2021. You never know, and you get on a 4 or 5 game winning streak in a 60-game season, everything looks a lot different.
Well, and they went from World Series a couple of years ago to not having any major league pitchers, really, outside of Nathan Eovaldi. He's the only one left from the rotation a year ago because of injuries and free agency and trades. It's going to be a tough rebuild there in Boston.
Down and in, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Anderson, who was homered and struck out. It does look like it would be a lot to try to pick up with Waguespack coming at you at 6'6" with that delivery and the high arm slot that you talked about.
Yeah, you just have when hitters get into the batter's box, they try to find the release point. And what you want to do is pick the ball out of the pitcher's hand at that release point. And his is in an unusual spot. It's a little bit higher than normal, and he's tall. He's 6'5", and he's standing on that high mound, and it creates a tough angle.
Upstairs with a fastball to get him. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Jake. In MLB history a night ago, almost $1.2 million. So we're starting over again. About $7,000 right now. If you didn't win last night, don't worry. You can still get your tickets for tonight's draw. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now from anywhere in Ontario at bluejays.com/5050.
I'm guessing you didn't win because you showed up.
Because I'm here. I'm not transparent, am I? But you know what? Right back at you. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the Marlins with 3 in the first, 5 in an ugly top of the third to take an 8-2 lead as Guerrero gives one a ride to right field. Birdie back on the warning track makes the catch for out number 1. You can put him just about anywhere, I guess.
Yeah, he's a good little player. And, of course, he grew up in the Blue Jays system. A lot of these guys have played with John Birdie. But he's gotten a nice opportunity here with Miami. He's got some speed. He can still run. Started at second base last night, played center field for a while, and then came back on the infield, part of a 5-man infield in extra innings.
Randall Grichuk walked in the second inning. Blue Jays got a hit and a walk in the first, a hit and a walk in the second. Didn't score in either inning. Cashed in a couple on a long home run by Teoscar Hernandez in the third. Number 5 on the season already for Hernandez.
5 home runs, 9 RBIs now for the Blue Jays right field. Yamamoto is from Hawaii. He went to high school in Honolulu. Went to the same high school that Brandon League went to. Brandon League, of course, came up with the Blue Jays, spent 11 years in the majors. St. Louis High School in Honolulu.
Had a good arm.
Yeah, he had a very good arm. Also, Benny Agbayani from the Mets. He went to the same high school. St. Louis High School is a very good athletic school. They produce a lot of college football players.
Chopper towards third. Anderson tries to barehand it and can't come up with it, and Grichuk is safely aboard.
Infield hit.
Meanwhile, this is after the pitch to Guerrero. This is something that the crew just saw. Watch Yamamoto grabbing his left arm and grimacing. And don't want to speculate too much about what it was, but something was bugging him right there.
Yeah, that's really interesting. His left arm, he grabbed the tricep. I have no idea what that would be.
So Grichuk is aboard with 1 out. When we get the scoring, we will pass it along. And the batter is Rowdy Tellez, who struck out his first time up. Over the outside corner, 0-1. 8 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Marlins. 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 error for the Blue Jays as they bat here in the bottom of the 4th. And this ball is crushed. Rowdy Tellez hits one a mile to right field for a 2-run shot.
Hey, you never know. Plenty of time left for Rowdy. That's home run number 2, and this was a big-time homer. He got that high fastball, and he squared it up. Randall Grichuk with an infield hit. Now Rowdy goes deep. Second 2-run home run in as many innings for the Blue Jays. And now it's a 4-run game. Wow. What a powerful swing. Right at the top of the zone. He squares it up, and this is a no-doubter, folks.
When he gets him, he gets him. So home runs for Hernandez and Tellez, and the Blue Jays trying to make their way back into this ball game here in Buffalo. Number 2 on the season for Rowdy. The batter is Danny Jansen. Jansen hit a fly ball to center field his first time up. Hits are now even at 6 apiece. The Marlins still with the lead, but the Blue Jays with a couple of home runs. And activity now in the Marlins bullpen. And it is Nick Vincent. Again, the bullpen's down the lines in Buffalo. You don't see that very often in major league parks these days. Used to see it all the time. Off the end of the bat, and that'll be a base hit for Jansen. This looped it into shallow right.
3 hits in a row for the Jays, and that'll turn the lineup over. This is where it gets interesting, folks. Get back to the top of the order with a man on and 1 out. Danny hits that curveball, stays on it, and gets enough of it to hit it into right field. Danny had a good night at the plate last night. He had a double, a walk, and a sacrifice bunt, and he gets his first knock of the night.
Well, now if you're the Blue Jays, you kind of get into, just keep the line moving, pass the baton kind of mindset. A lot of baseball still to be played here. Tellez his homer tonight. Grichuk was on base when he did.
This is a meeting to give Nick Vincent a little more time. 3rd time through the order now as they are top of the order, Biggio and Bichette. Kevin has gone 0 for 2, and Bichette's 2 for 2. And Nick Vincent should just about be ready if Don Mattingly wants to make a move here. Now, it looks like he's coming out. No. He's not sure
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to make a move.
Yep.
Yeah, he had it on his mind. He was going to give Vincent a few more throws down in that bullpen, so he'll make a pitching change. Oh, he wants the ball. This is the protocol. Take a new ball out to your relief pitcher so you don't have that other ball that the pitcher has thrown. So we'll have a pitching change, and Jordan Yamamoto can't get out of the 4th.
8-4. On to his bullpen, right-hander Nick Vincent, 34 years of age, has been around for a while, debuted with San Diego back in 2012, has been with the Mariners, the Giants, and the Phillies as well. He was released at the end of June by the Giants and then signed a few days later by the Marlins, and here he is in the 4th inning.
Yep, he pitched to Seattle, as Dan mentioned, so the Blue Jays, as a team, have seen him. Not a lot of their hitters have seen him. Kevin Biggio is 0 for 2, batting for a 3rd time here.
If you didn't see it, a 2-run homer by Rowdy Tellez this inning has made it 8-4. You just saw Danny Jansen, the runner at first, as Biggio hits one down to first, and that'll be a double play. line drive double play to end the inning. So it's 8-4 at the end of 4. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Hazel and Joe in the Samsung studio. Care Foundation, you can have your message displayed. It can be a birthday, retirement, graduation, anniversary. Visit bluejays.com/jayscare to find out more. And how about a happy birthday to Brody Giles? That is Ken's son.
4 years old, and Ken made sure that Brody's cutout is all decked out for his birthday. Happy birthday, Brody. That's very cool.
And it looks like another little brother sitting right beside him, 11 months, beside big brother Brody. I don't think Brody's quite 100 miles Giles yet. He's probably about 14 miles Giles right now with a good tailwind. Francisco Cervelli leads off the 5th for the Marlins. It is 8-4 Miami in what has been a strange game. Cervelli with a ground ball, left side, backhanded by Bichette. Long throw is in time, and no, in and out of the glove of Guerrero. Never had control of it, and Cervelli reaches.
That's unbelievable. Bo knew he had time, makes a good throw, and he's shaking his head, man. I mean, it looked like this is going to be a routine play. You got the catcher running, Vladdy stretches, and it just pops out of his glove. And Vladdy doesn't realize it's out of his glove until he reaches in there and it's not there.
So again, waiting for the scoring, but got to be obviously an error on Guerrero. I don't think there's much doubt there. So that'll be the second error committed by the Blue Jays tonight. And the batter will be Eddie Alvarez, who grounded out and walked with the bases loaded. A lot of crazy stuff happening in that third inning when the Marlins were batting. And Howard Starkman is the official scorer tonight and has sent along to us that after, I don't know how he took another look at things, but now 4 earned runs officially charged to Nate Pearson on the night. So again, there was a lot of craziness. There's a lot of unusual stuff in that top of the third that you don't normally see, never mind in succession as rapidly as we saw it. So the final line on Nate Pearson is 4 earned runs. Now a base hit through the right side for Alvarez. Stopping at second on the play is Cervelli.
Yeah, there was a pass ball in the third inning, and that had an impact on it, plus the error by Guerrero. Guerrero's committed 2 errors here tonight. Eddie Alvarez pulls one past Guerrero into right field. Cervelli will stop at second. It's the 7th hit for Miami.
And Vladdy had a good night at first last night. He is not having a good night around the bag in this game. First and second, nobody out, and the batter is John Birdie, 0 for 2. Birdie is the only Marlin who has yet to reach base in this game, although the on-deck hitter Sierra, the only time he reached was on an error. Now Birdie will reach base as he lines one into right field. The throw will come back into the infield. Cervelli, with nobody out, will stop at third, and the Marlins have the bases loaded.
Well, you start out the inning with a routine ground ball to third base, and you expect it to be the first out of the inning, and then another ground ball sneaks through the infield, and now the third batter reaches base here in the inning as John Birdie gets a base hit to right.
And the Blue Jays had just gotten the home run from Rowdy Tellez to make it 8-4, start to make it a little bit interesting, and now they're in all kinds of trouble again here in the top of the 5th. Shun Yamaguchi is now throwing for the Jays. And it looks like the Blue Jays have brought the infield in here with the bases loaded and nobody out.
You see Barucki's got a baseball in his glove on. So he was looking like he was going to warm up. And now in this situation with nobody out, they've got Yamaguchi up throwing.
At the knees, 0-1.
Sierra reached on that air. As you see, the bases loaded. Cervelli's at third, Birdie's at second, and Birdie's at first. Alvarez is at second. But Sierra hit that ball to Vladdy, knocked it down and went into foul territory, and Sierra runs so well he beat Vladdy to the bag. It was the first of 2 errors that Guerrero's been charged with tonight.
And in that third inning again, there was an error, there was a pass ball, there was a runner taking home on a pickoff play down to second when Biggio didn't go to the bag. Some miscommunication evidently between Jansen and Biggio, so it has been one of those nights. It hasn't just been getting outplayed, it's been a game of mistakes for the Blue Jays as well, and it hasn't been pretty. 1-2 now, the count on Sierra. And he got him a changeup there as Waguespack strikes him out, 1 down.
Well, that's a big out. First out of the inning. Bases still loaded, and now Waguespack has a chance to get a ground ball and maybe get out of this jam. That's a great changeup. Good spot down and away. Sierra strikes out. It's the third strikeout for Waguespack since he's come into the game.
Now, it looks like the middle infielders, Buck, have backed up just a bit, kind of halfway. VR batting for the left side and with very good speed. He's a very tough double play candidate. You'd have to have a hard hit ball right at somebody to have a chance. That's a hard hit ball, but it's not right at somebody. Into right field for a base hit. Another run will score, and it's now 9-4.
For VR, that's just his 5th RBI of the season as he knocks in Francisco Cervelli. His 2nd hit of the game. He is 2 for 3 with a walk. He didn't waste any time. Jumps on the first pitch and hits it right into right field. Only one runner can come in to score. The bases remain loaded with 1 out.
As Alvarez has come around to third, Birdie at second, VR at first now, and here's Jesus Aguilar, 1 for 3, had an RBI single his last time up. You know, if you're Charlie Montoyo, you want as much as you can get out of Waguespack because you know Yamaguchi's going to be next, but you don't want to have to use too many guys. You do have an off day tomorrow, but you don't want to have to use too many guys and then maybe render a guy or two unavailable for Friday. Change up, and it's fouled off.
Yeah, this is just the 5th inning, and you can see Pete Walker's checking on the status of his bullpen. Yamaguchi has been up for a while.
Fastball down and in, 2 balls and a strike.
Aguilar was the last batter in that 3rd inning when the Marlins sent 9 men to the plate. He got a base hit to right field, and VR was thrown out at 3rd to end the inning.
2-1, and a changeup takes Aguilar down to a knee, 2-2, and he's upset with himself.
Waguespack has a very good delivery on this changeup, and Aguilar is fooled. And not too happy he was out in front of that pitch.
He's a big man with a big personality, a lot of power, some good years with Milwaukee. 2-2 on the way. And he shoots it to right field, and that's a fair ball. Hernandez has to give chase into the corner to come up with it. On his way to second, and in there safely. No, he's out. He's out. Aguilar came off the bag, says the second-to-base umpire, Mark Carlson. Overslid the bag on the play, but the runs just keep piling on right now for the Marlins.
Aguilar does a good job of staying back on this pitch after being fooled by the changeup. It's a fastball out over the plate, and he just strokes it down the right field line. That's going to cash in 2. He's got double on his mind, but Teoscar makes a good throw, and you can see Aguilar skip right over the top of the base and lost contact momentarily as that front foot comes off the base, and he hasn't come on the base. Well, that's a tough call for an umpire. I don't know if I agree with that at all. But a good piece of hitting by Aguilar as he hustles around the base. 2 runs come in to score. It's 11-4, and I think the Marlins are going to have a look at this call at second base. This is a tough call. His momentum is there. He easily beats the throw, but that front leg skipped off the base.
Right. Did the front leg leave the base before the back leg hit the base?
Yeah, it looks like the back leg slides into the base. The ball clearly beats him to the base. Boy, if he could see that in his position, he's real good. But he called it with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
He said, hey, you tagged him. He came off the base, and this is going to be a review for Miami. But he's got great position. You can't fault him for that. And then the foot slides over the top of the base, and it's hard to tell whether his left leg hit second base before Bichette put the tag on him.
Bichette right away was looking to third to make sure VR was still there, which he was. It was a 2-run double. VR stopped at third. Foot on, foot off. Looks like Bo's got the glove on the outside of his right thigh. And the call stands. He is out. And that is out number 2. And that's also the end of the line for Jacob Waguespack. Shun Yamaguchi making his way into the game. 11-4 right now as the Marlins just keep hitting line drives all over the place. And now Shun Yamaguchi has come into the game here in the 5th with the runner at third and 2 down.
Yeah, and it hasn't been a great start to his big league career for Yamaguchi. And in his defense, he was given a couple of tough outings in extra innings when the pitching was a little bit taxed early in the season. Left-handed hitters are 3 for 5 against Yamaguchi, and that's what he's going to face here with Corey Dickerson starting things off for him.
Dickerson tonight has walked, singled, grounded out, and scored a couple of runs. The Marlins with 3 more runs here in the top of the 5th inning now, leading by 7. As Yamaguchi misses high, ball 1. The last play the Aguilar hit is scored a single, a couple of RBIs, and he is out trying to stretch it into a double. 9-6 on the putout. And fouled back, 1-1.
Yamaguchi was signed as a free agent in the offseason, and he made his debut against Tampa Bay in extra innings and gave up the winning run in that game. He is 0-2 early in his big league career.
Had a great year as a starter last year in Japan after being a reliever for the first several years of his career, transitioned into a starting role for the last several years. Always kind of felt like, even coming into Dunedin in the spring, he was probably going to be in the bullpen, that there were just too many other bodies. But he's just been passed by some guys because he didn't pitch great in Dunedin, didn't pitch great in summer camp. This one is lifted in the air to left field for Gurriel. And finally, the Marlins are retired. They get 3 more, though. Another error by Guerrero in the middle of it, and it's 11-4 Miami. I'll tell you, I don't know anything about what it takes to make good ice, but there must be some good people working over at Scotiabank as Bichette bangs one into center field for a base hit. To have 2, sometimes 3 games a day in the middle of August, and to keep that thing going the way it's going.
Yeah, they've done a great job, and the ice looks terrific, and they've had some great games there. Speaking of great games, how about Bo Bichette? He's 3 for 3. No problem for Bo. He's extended his hit streak to 6 in a row tonight. He has 3 singles, and he has squared up everything he's offered at tonight. This one skips under the glove of VR at shortstop.
And now Travis Shaw sends a fly ball pretty well hit to deep left field, and it's gone. Opposite field 2-run homer for Shaw. His first as a Blue Jay and the 100th home run of his career, and it's 11-6.
Third two-run home run of the night. Home run number 100, great milestone for Travis Shaw. He's starting to swing the bat a little bit. He had a walk in the first inning, and this is his first hit. He's 1 for 2. His Bichette has now scored 2 runs, and Bo's been on base all 3 times, as we mentioned.
So in the first 13 games of the season, the Blue Jays hit 2, and they're trying to get the baseball. You can see his teammates know it's number 100. In the first 13 games of the season, the Blue Jays hit 2 multi-run homers. They've hit 3 of them here tonight. Their 6 runs are on 3 two-run homers.
Well, it's a pretty swing right there, and Travis has got good power the opposite way, and this clears the fence easily in left field. And here's one of the authors of that 2-run home run. Teoscar Hernandez hit one in the 3rd. Rowdy Tellez hit his in the 4th, and now Travis Shaw goes deep here in the 5th.
Well, the Blue Jays keep trying to get back into it, but then they just keep handing the Marlins some gifts tonight. As Teoscar hits one to left center field, fairly deep, but playable on the warning track for Sierra, 1 down. Well, he actually looked like he got jammed a little bit and still hit that ball to the warning track.
On 9 hits, and there is that ball. That's Caleb Joseph, who hustled down the line to get that ball. They understand the significance of it. 100 career home runs, and they retrieved that baseball. Good job, fellas.
Here's Lourdes Gurriel Jr., 1 for 2, a base hit and a strikeout.
Yeah, Gurriel was called out on a very questionable low fastball his last time up.
Nick Vincent came on in relief of Jordan Yamamoto an inning ago as Gurriel skies one to medium depth right center field, and Birdie is there for out number 2. Well, you like to see the bats coming around a little bit. That's the good news. The bad news is the pitching was not good tonight. The defense hasn't been good, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s 2 errors, both pivotal in allowing the Marlins to score more runs.
Yeah, a couple of routine plays that he just couldn't make the plays on.
Oh for 2 at the plate, a strikeout and a fly ball. He's had games where he's looked good. He's had games where he hasn't. You want to keep sending him out there because the only way he gets better is by playing. But at the same time, they're trying to win ball games too.
Yeah, absolutely trying to win ball games. And, you know, the batting average under 220 now.
And 0-2 hits a ground ball to the right side. Vincent over to cover, and the side is retired. They do get a couple of runs back.
Pretty tacky, so you don't need the rosin or a stickiness to get a feel on the baseball.
So an adjustment period, thank you, Arash, for Shun Yamaguchi, and because he is still trying to work through that adjustment period, these are the kinds of situations in which he finds himself.
Yeah, he has to get his feet on the ground here, and there's other adjustments too. The mounds in Japan are a little bit softer, and there have been Japanese pitchers that have come over here and had problems with blisters on the top of their back foot. They drag it on the mound, and because it's hard clay, they would get blisters on it. And it wasn't that long ago in Japan, each team had their own baseball. They could pick out the type of baseball they wanted to use, and it was really unusual.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and there was also a commissioner that juiced up the baseball a few years ago. I want to say 10, 12 years ago. And the home runs were flying out of the ballpark at record pace. And they did an investigation and found out they were using juiced up baseballs, and it cost the guy his job.
Mike Moran now up in the bullpen. That's like college basketball in the U.S. Different schools have apparel, shoe, etc. contracts with different companies.
Yeah.
And they use different basketballs. So each school likes to have, swing and a miss, and that'll be all for Joyce. Each school likes to have basketballs of all types. So if they're going to play at school X that uses this basketball, you want to have a couple of days practicing with it before you go play the game.
It might be a Nike basketball or a Wilson basketball, or they're just all different types of basketballs, and they all have a little bit different feel. And Matt Joyce strikes out. He's had a good night at the plate. A couple of hits, scored a couple of runs.
Now Brian Anderson, a home run and a couple of strikeouts. 5 of the runs the Marlins have scored tonight are unearned, and 5 is the lead that they have. Don Mattingly will take it. You know, his team trying to weave its way through this complicated season, having lost better than half of the players on their active roster due to the COVID outbreak.
You know, we have been talking so much about the Blue Jays and their tough start to the season. Miami's been on the road for 23 days.
Yeah.
They're going home tonight, and they haven't been in Miami for 23 days.
I think they left Miami basically the same day that the Blue Jays left Toronto. Toronto went to Boston for a couple of exhibition games before the season started. The Marlins went to Atlanta for a couple of exhibition games before the season started, which it is thought that's where the outbreak happened. Some guys let their guard down, went out, went shopping, got coffee, went to a teammate's house, something like that, and that's where the outbreak started. That is still impacting their team 3 weeks later.
Yeah, Derek Jeter, the CEO of the Marlins, addressed that and specifically said, yeah, we had some guys that let their guard down, and it cost us.
Down and away, 2-2.
You remember when Masahiro Tanaka first came over to the Yankees, he had similar problems with the baseball, just a little bit slicker, wasn't quite as tacky. His split finger took some time to get it where he wanted it. I remember talking to Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach for the Yankees at the time, and it was a challenge for him. But he ironed it out.
Yeah,
He's had a pretty good run, hasn't he?
3-2, the count on Anderson. Out of play. Well, with all the players that the Marlins lost, they had to find some new guys. If you go to the transaction page on their site on MLB.com, look at the dates on the left. This is all August the 4th. 18 guys placed on the injured list, and selecting the contracts of a number of players from the alternate training site, claimed a number of players on waivers. They had to put a team back together. Swing and a miss, 93 on that fastball, and Anderson strikes out.
3 in a row retired by Yamaguchi here. And they get that fastball right top of the zone, and Brian Anderson, after hitting that home run, has struck out 3 times.
Do you see any change, a little bit more life on his pitches now than you saw?
Yeah,
the
I
first
think so.
couple times?
You know, we haven't seen him very much. Obviously, he hasn't had a chance to pitch too much, but I think that's the one thing Pete Walker has noticed, that as he pitches a little bit more, there's a little more life to his pitches, especially his fastball. That's the splitter. He got underneath it a little bit and it sailed inside.
Francisco Cervelli has walked twice, reached on an error once, and scored a couple of runs. It's been that kind of night. 5 walks, 2 errors, a pass ball. Guerrero will beat Cervelli to the bag, and the side is retired in order. That's the first time we can say that about either team tonight's game. You show your support for the team with fan signs. Simply take a picture of your sign and tweet it to @BlueJays for a chance to be featured on our social platforms. New pitcher now for Miami, their 3rd pitcher of the night, right-hander Mike Morin.
Morin's 29 years old. He grew up in Kansas City, went to Shawnee Mission South High School. Then he went to the University of North Carolina. That's where the Angels saw him. They drafted him. He came to the big leagues first time in 2014 at the age of 22. This is his 7th season in the big leagues. He's pitched with the Angels, the Royals, the Mariners, Minnesota, Philadelphia, and now the Miami Marlins.
11-6 in a strange game tonight. A couple of costly errors committed by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Nate Pearson did not have his best stuff. Did not have his command, did not get out of the 3rd inning. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays have hit 3 2-run homers in this game for all of their offense as Randall Grichuk flies out on 1 pitch, 1 down.
6 runs on 9 hits for the Blue Jays, and the way their pitching has been coming into this game, I'd like to save some of those 6 runs. You'd had a few wins earlier in the season, but tonight's been a different story. Here's a guy that hit a 2-run home run, and he hit a bomb.
Yes, he did. A 2-run shot way back over the fence into right field. 2nd of the season for Rowdy Tellez. RBIs number 6 and 7. And in there just above the knees, 0-1.
Hurt himself. He threw a pitch and he hurt himself. Looked like he recoiled as soon as he threw it. And he is done.
And that arm is not hanging. It's hanging limply. That is not good.
Yeah, they'll just walk him off the field. He felt something give in that arm, and he is out of here. That's unfortunate. And you can see he feels it, and Cervelli recognized it right away. And obviously we can't tell what it is, but he knows it's serious. And the reaction immediately is he recoiled after that pitch. That's unfortunate. You hate to see that.
Yeah, hopefully not as bad as it looks. Hopefully nothing too serious for Mike Morin as he is walking off the field. Teammates with a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he came over and picked up a win in his first appearance with Miami. So he will have as much time as he needs. Rowdy Tellez has an 0-1 count, and we'll go back and look at his last hit batter. StatCast AI, powered by Google Cloud, will tell you that he hit this one a long way. 459 feet, came off the bat at 111.6 miles an hour. And you see the Major League average is 103, and Rowdy got into that with home run number 2 for Rowdy Tellez.
That is no joke, 459 feet. And just like a number of his teammates, if you can just see a little bit better plate, controlling the strike zone, making them come in. I mean, he can do some damage. He can hit the ball a long, long way if he can make enough contact. So Moran inherits an 0-1 count. The pitch to Tellez, the last pitch thrown by Morin, was a strike. So it's 0-1 on Rowdy. And he gets that sidearm sweeping breaking ball from Moran, 0-2. Shift is on against Tellez.
That home run by Rowdy is the 6th longest home run hit this season. Giancarlo Stanton hit that one in Washington and went 483. Of course, Judge is right there. He hit one 468. Also against Boston. Tonight, Juan Soto hit one 466 against the Mets. So Rowdy's home run, the 6th longest home run hit this season.
Moran just threw under the backstop.
Just a bit outside. That's a little unnerving if you're the batter. And then he drops that big sweeping breaking ball. He's a fastball breaking ball pitcher, basically a 2-pitch pitcher. And in this era of 3-batter minimum, there was some question as to how effective he might be pitching to righties when he has to. Rowdy hung in there pretty good and had a pretty good cut at that pitch.
You generally see teams kind of separating their left-handed batters when they can to force a guy like this to face at least one right-handed batter, and that, even though he came in when he wasn't expected to come in because of the injury, he'll get Tellez, a left-handed batter, then Danny Jansen, the righty, and then Cavan Biggio, a lefty. 3-2. The misses have not been close misses. And still a ways to go. The Blue Jays have hit a 2-run homer in each of the last 3 innings.
Had a pretty good cut at that pitch. Yeah, there's plenty of game left, that's for sure. If the Blue Jays can continue to put up some zeros. Shun Yamaguchi retired to side in order in the 6th.
And Morin making his way out to where the visitors' clubhouse is, out beyond the right field fence. At Salem Field, this ball is ripped down the right field line, and it's over the head of Birdie, off the wall on a bounce. He's got to give chase, and that'll allow Rowdy Tellez to head into second base with a double.
Another good swing for Rowdy, his second double of the season. Second extra base hit of the night. He's 2 for 3. Well, this is how you get in the lineup. You get some hits. Everybody knows the Blue Jays have been struggling offensively, and whoever starts swinging the bat is going to get more playing time. And Rowdy's making a bid to get some more playing time as he hits that one over Birdie's head into right field.
Now, just got to keep that mindset. Just keep chipping away. Here's Danny Jansen, a fly ball and a base hit. I wonder if Jansen's trying to change his luck with a mustache.
Probably.
Well, if there's another viable explanation, I'm all ears. But
no, probably. He went into the game last night 0 for 18.
Yeah.
He got the 0 for 19 before he hit that double. He hit this one.
Wow. Good. A drive to left, and it's their 4th 2-run homer of the night. And I don't know much, but we're going to see that mustache on Friday night. Jansen with a home run. It's 11-8.
We're still in the 6th inning, folks. And Jansen's hitting in the 9th spot. So he hits another 2-run home run, and that'll turn the lineup over one more time. We're in that sidearm and left-hander, and Danny Jansen has a good look at it. That's that spinning breaking ball, and he barrels it up and hits it deep, his 2nd home run of the season. And Danny's starting to swing the bat a little better. 2 hits tonight.
Wow. 4th inning in a row. The Blue Jays have hit a 2-run homer. The bats are trying to get them back into the game. Can the arms and the gloves keep it that way? Here's Biggio 0 for 3.
How about that? The Blue Jays have what they hit 15 straight solo home
Something
runs.
Like that, yeah. Now they got 4 2-run homers tonight. Hernandez, Tellez, Shaw, Jansen. He's not close.
No. And that's going to get the bullpen up in a hurry. This is the 3rd batter Brian Moran has faced. So they can make a pitching change, and they're starting to stir down the right field line.
And Biggio will take a walk. Well, we have a moment. Let's go to Arash Madani.
Wasn't it interesting, guys, what Jansen told us before the game today, that in the past, if he was scuffling, he would spend so much extra time in the cage at night after a game, angrily getting his hacks in. Now he says, look, I'm just going to stick to my plan. I'm going to be aggressive when I'm in a slump, but it's not as if I'm going to take my frustrations out into the cage afterwards. He's learning what's working for him.
You know what, Arash, that was great information, but I'd have loved it if I threw to you and you said, Danny told me it's the mustache. All that hard work, that's great. No, but it's great. And he's talked about it, about having a game plan with Ryan Borucki's dad, with Ray Borucki, who's kind of given him, a system and a game plan and a mindset, and it's about sticking to the routine, whether things are going well or whether things are not going well. And now Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, is out clearly in buying time mode. As James Hoyt is throwing in the bullpen for the Marlins.
And you can see Stoudemire started the conversation by talking to the catcher. And Hoyt pitched in the game last night. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, came in the 6th, and was able to retire the 2 batters he faced. He faced Hernandez and Gurriel and got them both out. So a little bit of concern in that Marlins dugout right now.
Yep.
At one point, they had an 8-0 lead.
And it is now 11-8 with a fair bit of baseball still to be played tonight. A man on for the Blue Jays, still just 1 out, and here is Bo Bichette, who is 3 for 3. 3 singles, 2 runs scored. And he had a home run cut, but I guess that's redundant with Bo. But I mean, he really went after that one.
And he had a good cut at it. Bo has 3 hits tonight. He's only had 1 4-hit game. That came last August 12th against the Texas Rangers at Rogers Center. He was 4 for 6 in that game. That was a 19-4 blowout. But he's looking for his second career 4-hit game. Wake up over there. Pay attention.
1-1 the count on to Bichette. Hit hard but a foul, and he's going to wake him up one person at a time. He is scattering teammates like crazy tonight. And Vladdy's saying, hit it that way. Don't hit it in here. Keep it fair. Rowdy's getting on him right now.
Remember the days before those nets were up?
I don't know how. It's one of those things that now that you have them. Up the middle, another base hit for Bichette. He is 4 for 4. Biggio up to second on the play.
Yeah, his first 4-hit game of the year, just his second 4-hit game of his career. And boy, he's had some night. He's been on everything. 4 singles.
And now I'm sure they'd like to make a move here, but because it's a left-handed batter in Shaw, they're going to give Moran one more batter. Shaw homered his last time up, his first as a Blue Jay, and his 100th career home run.
He's really got to be patient here. We have seen Moran really wild in this inning. Mentioned 100 career home runs. 17 of those have been against left-handed pitching, and he's swinging the bat well, hitting the ball the opposite field. You've got to stay on this guy. Make him throw you a strike.
Bit by bit, they're getting back into it. Rowdy Tellez has homered this inning. Danny Jansen hit a homer. Travis Shaw has a home run tonight, still down by 3. He thought about it. Halfway through, he wasn't sure, and then he committed to it, and he's upset with himself that he did. There's just so much movement on that pitch. It's coming at you so slowly by Major League standards, but it's moving so much. Runners are going. Throw down to third and safe. Biggio and Bichette with a double steal.
Where these kids can play, man. And they understand the game. Where the momentum is, it's certainly in their dugout right now. And double steal. That's 17 for 17 for Cavan Biggio to start his Major League career. He's got great instincts, and his timing is excellent. Anderson has to go down to a knee, take the short hop, and he's in there easily ahead of the throw.
You know, picking on that slow breaking ball from Moran gives him a little bit more time.
And he's focused on throwing a strike. He's not worried about base runners, but now he's got 2 in scoring position.
Oh, and it's strike 3 called. Shaw thought it was inside. You can see him saying that to Roberto Ortiz, but he's called out on strikes, 2 down.
Boy, this breaking ball looks like it came around the plate, and Cervelli does a great job of giving the umpire a good look at it. Travis Shaw, as Dan said, motioned to the umpire, said, man, that came around the plate. It was inside. Big strikeout for Moran.
And the end of the night for Moran as well. Don Mattingly's got the baseball. Right-hander James Hoyt is on his way in to face Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah, and we certainly don't want to shortchange Teoscar. He has hit the 4th longest home run, and it came back in the 3rd inning. This ball goes 466 feet. And he has really done a great job as he drives that ball out of the ballpark. Home run number 5, so the Blue Jays have 2 of the top 6 longest home runs hit so far this season. Rowdy Tellez and Teoscar Hernandez.
4 2-run homers for the Blue Jays tonight. Teoscar Hernandez represents the tying run here with 2 down in the bottom of the 6th in a game in which at one point the Blue Jays trailed 8-0.
I'll take a base hit right here. A 2-out base hit will cash in 2.
Biggio at third, Bichette at second after they executed a double steal. Blue Jays are now out hitting the Marlins 12-10, but still trail 11-8. And it's only the 6th. Oh, and 2 on Teoscar.
Everybody's back at the top step of the dugout as Ryan Barucki starts to loosen up. A base hit right here, and he is going to get loose in a hurry.
And Yamaguchi quietly came in and has retired the 4 batters that he's faced. Biggio down the line at third, Bichette edging off the bag at second. And he chased, got him down and away with a slider, strikes him out to strand a couple. Miami 11 and the Blue Jays 8. The Blue Jays have hit 4 2-run homers. In each of the last 4 innings, they have hit a home run. But the pitching and the defense has really put them up against it, put them in a huge hole early. Yamaguchi has retired the 4 batters that he has faced, and he's out to face Eddie Alvarez to begin the 7th.
Yamaguchi has a couple of strikeouts since coming into the game. And he has recorded the only 1-2-3 inning in this ball game for either side. That's a better split right there. Getting some good movement on it.
Kind of acts like a change. It's not a, it doesn't dive down to the ground. Fades away a little horizontal movement in addition to the vertical. Well, that one dove.
Yeah.
That's a different one right there.
He's starting to get a feel for it. And you know what? His fastball is going to be maybe 91, but that's good enough because that'll create the hitters thinking about getting on the fastball, and that makes them vulnerable to that splitter.
Alvarez tonight is grounded out, walked with the bases loaded, and had a base hit. So he's 1 for 2, has scored a couple of runs. Donnie Baseball. You know, some kind of move like a changeup, some go straight down, more like a forkball.
Yeah, and it's better. It's getting much better. There's some definite movement to it.
And a fastball at 94 gets him for out number 1 as we check in with Hazel. They can hit. Thank you, Hazel. Miguel Sano has homered tonight. Nelson Cruz has driven in a couple of runs. He's only hitting .333 with a .960 OPS as a 40-year-old. Here's John Birdie.
he's eligible for the Seniors League. And he's still hitting.
Twins are off to an 11-7 start.
You know, it's really kind of cool for the Twins. Byron Buxton's hitting 300. They've been waiting on his bat for a while. He's one of the best defenders in the game in center field. But he's had 3 hits tonight. He's hit 2 home runs, as Hazel mentioned, and now his average is at 304.
But even guys who aren't, like Eddie Rosario's not a household name, he can really hit.
Yeah.
I mean, they up and down the lineup.
Polanco's a great hitter. Mitch Garver had a heck of a year last year. He's leading off tonight, the catcher.
Inside corner, 1-2.
You know what, and there's some good that comes out of even a game like this, and this might be it for Yamaguchi, an opportunity for him to get some work in a less pressurized situation, and we have seen his fastball up to 94. He's thrown some great splitters.
That's a pretty good pitch and a pretty good take there. I don't know how you take that pitch with a couple of strikes on you. Sierra on deck, the left-hander Baraki ready if needed in the bullpen. And strike 3 called. Birdie does not like it at all. Thought it was outside. Yamaguchi's now faced 6 batters, and he has struck out 4 of them.
Last year in Japan, he had 188 strikeouts and 170 innings. So it's there. It's just a matter of it coming out, and Birdie was very surprised. He thought that was off the plate and maybe up. And he's complaining it. You called that splitter off the plate. Now you give him that one too.
Yamaguchi stays. Sierra shows bunt and takes down and in for ball 1. Well, in this crazy season, you never know how many arms you're going to need, and Yamaguchi trying to work his way back into stronger roles in this Blue Jay bullpen. And if that's possible, outside, 2 balls, no strikes. This is by far the best that he has been.
Yes. The velocity is good. The split action is good. I haven't seen many sliders from him, but he hasn't needed them. He's retired all 6 he's faced.
4 strikeouts, a ground out, and a fly ball out. 11-8, 7th inning. And a bunt sent in the air down to first for Guerrero, and it's another 3-up, 3-down inning. 7 up, 7 down. Your chance to win a grand prize of a Blue Jays merchandise package and autographed items. You'll get a contest entry for every game you find them, so the more you play, the better your chances are. Visit BlueJays.com/misplaced and tell us where you saw Ace during tonight's broadcast for your chance to win. Along with Buck Martinez and Arash Madani, I'm Dan Schulman. The bottom of the 7th inning, the Blue Jays and the Marlins in Buffalo. Miami 11, the Blue Jays 8, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. leads it off against James Hoyt. Gurriel tonight 1 for 3, had a base hit his first time up.
Hoyt came in and put out the fire in the 6th with runners at 2nd and 3rd, and he struck out Teoscar Hernandez with a good slider.
Blue Jays just want to keep the pressure on. They've hit a 2-run homer in each of the last 4 innings. Can they keep chipping away? Left-hander Stephen Tarpley is starting to throw in the Miami pen. And that looks like it's got Rowdy Tellez written all over it, about 3 batters away. Not about 3 batters away, exactly 3 batters away. Gurriel, Guerrero, Grichuk, and then Tellez. Guy on the right's had a pretty good night, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Gavin's got a couple of hits as well. He's 2 for 4 with a walk. Oh, he's got a good slider. That's his out pitch for sure. That's how he struck out Teoscar to end the 6th inning. And this one starts on the plate and breaks down and away. And Gurriel knew he chased a bad pitch.
The 2-2. Down to third. Picked nicely by Anderson. Spins and fires to get him. So one down in the bottom of the 7th, and that'll bring up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as his buddies Biggio and Bichette look on from the dugout. Vladdy's had a tough night. He is 0 for 3 at the plate, and he has committed 2 errors in the field.
You talk about 2-run home runs. The last time the Jays hit 4 2-run homers in a game was September 11th, 2015 against the Yankees. A different cast of characters for sure. Donaldson, who was the MVP, Justin Smoke, Edwin Encarnacion, and Russell Martin.
Tonight, it's been Teoscar Hernandez, Rowdy Tellez, Travis Shaw, and Danny Jansen. A fly ball to center field. Back is Sierra. It's gone. It's not a 2-run shot, but it's a solo home run for Vladimir Guerrero, his 2nd on the season, the 5th home run of the night for the Blue Jays, and it's 11-9.
Boy, he waited back well on that breaking ball. And he's got power. He could hit the ball out to any part of the ballpark, and he didn't miss that one. Boy, the Blue Jays, 13 hits, 9 runs. They've been waiting for this kind of breakout for a long time, but they still trail here.
Now Randall Grichuk, a walk, a base hit, and a fly ball to center field. 5th inning in a row in which the Blue Jays have hit a home run.
I'll tell you what, in that dugout now, there's a whole lot of guys saying, come on, we're going to win this thing. And that's a spinning slider that he stays on the inner half of the plate, and he's got so much power, he hits it out to deep right center.
Grichuk hooks a ball to left field, and that's down for a base hit.
I tell you what, I've been down there before when everybody in the dugout says, hey, man, we were down 8-0. Let's come back and win this thing. A 2-run game, and Randall Grichuk, he waits on a breaking ball. He gets his 2nd hit of the night. He's 2 for 3, and he lined out in his other at-bat in the 6th. And now you talk about the matchup. You mentioned it. Rowdy Tellez is the hitter. And Don Mattingly's coming out. He's going to make a change. He gets the new baseball for the left-hander, Stephen Tarpley.
A season-high 14 hits for the Blue Jays, a season-high 5 homers, and they're back within 2. So we'll see left-hander Stephen Tarpley.
Yeah, he was charged with the loss in last night's game. He gave up the base hit to Travis Shaw in the 10th inning and scored the winning run, so he is back in there now with Rowdy Tellez at the plate. Rowdy's had a heck of a night. He's 2 for 3, home run and double, and his double came against the sidearm left-hander Brian Moran. Tarpley's a fastball slider guy. Randall Grichuk at first base.
And a guy who all of a sudden, I would think, Buck, after struggling coming into this game tonight, Rowdy Tellez got to be brimming with confidence right now. Hit a 2-run homer, hit it a mile back in the 4th inning, and then had a double off the lefty Brian Moran his last time up.
Yeah, it looked like he was looking breaking ball on that first pitch, too. Remember, that's what Shaw hit off Tarpley last night to win the game. Tarpley's got a pretty good sinking fastball. Just with that slider.
So he's got to be in for 3 batters. He'll face Tellez, Jansen, and Biggio. If he finishes the inning beforehand, of course, then he doesn't have to face 3. It's 3 or finish the inning, whichever comes first. Are you proud of me?
Yeah, he didn't. Well, we got you a candle.
Scott Carson got me one of these big candles that you get for a 3-year-old and you put in their birthday cake just to remind me about the 3-batter rule. And it's staying right on my desk here for the whole season.
That was good.
Yep. Thanks, Scotty. Assist, stats man. 2-1 is there. Fastball for a strike, 2-2. And it looked like Rowdy was saying, I know he's going to throw me another slider. Then he threw him a fastball and he couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, he can't be thinking now with 2 strikes. Just look for the baseball.
Sharply hit, and it kicks off the leg of Alvarez, and it goes all the way down into the right field corner. Grichuk is on his way to third as the throw rattles around down the foul line, but Grichuk won't risk it. And Tellez is at second base again, and they just keep swinging the bats.
Boy, he hung in there good, and you could see the pitch from Tarpley. This is a fastball. That sinking fastball, Rowdy gets the barrel on it and hits it sharply. Alvarez can't make a play. It's off his leg and goes down the right field line. Birdie plays it back in. And I don't know what happened on that relay. Aguilar can't make a play. And Grichuk is headed for third, and Tellez will follow him right into second. And here they come.
It is scored a double. So the third extra base hit of the night for Rowdy Tellez. And now the tying run is at second base. The go-ahead run is at the plate. How improbable is all of this, given that the Blue Jays trailed 8-0 in the third inning? And Danny Jansen's up, and Jansen homered his last time up. And again, because of the rule, he gets to face a lefty.
Danny Jansen has been swinging the bat much better the last 2 nights. He had a big double in the 6th inning last night to snap an 0-for-19 skid. And he has since added 2 more hits tonight.
I tell you, Charlie Montoyo didn't have about a good hour and a half at the beginning of this game, but he's had a better last hour and a half than Don Mattingly's had.
Absolutely. He was making a lot of mental notes to himself. Bad base running, bad pitching, lots of walks, errors.
Yeah. The masks hide the stress a little bit, don't they? But not entirely. The 2-0 hit in the air, shallow center field. The catch is made. Grichuk will not risk it. And that is an important second out from a Marlins perspective.
Yeah, it was just too shallow to chance it when you have the 2 runners on base that could tie it up with a base hit. Just kind of off the end of the bat. Chair comes in, and he is really shallow, and Grichuk has to hold. Tellez does the same at second. I mentioned earlier that Biggio had 2 hits. That was last night. He is 0-for-3 with a walk, and now he's got to deal with a nasty lefty.
And he looks at a strike.
He faced Tarpley in that 10th inning last night and walked against him.
You know, Biggio would love to do some damage, but he'd be just as happy in some ways to take a walk, even though Tarpley would come out of the game and a righty would come in. And you talk about passing the baton. The guy on deck's 4-for-4 tonight, Bo Bichette. Wouldn't they love to see him come up this inning with some men on base?
Bo's average is up to 340. Ooh, good cut. They got a fastball.
4 sharp singles for Bichette tonight. He scored a couple of runs. He has stolen a couple of bases. Oh, it's going to be fun to watch him.
Yeah, he's a special player. Just learning how to play in the big leagues.
And a swing and a miss at a ball up at the belt. Biggio strikes out, and the inning is over. They do get one. produced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Salem Field in downtown Buffalo, the home of the Toronto Blue Jays for the 2020 season. And as you can see, if you're just flipping over, there's been a lot going on. Blue Jays were down 8-0. They've got it back to 11-9. And after a great relief appearance by Shun Yamaguchi, here's Ryan Borucki in the top of the 8th.
And look at these numbers, folks. 4 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, and just 2 walks. Ryan Borucki has really taken to this bullpen role, and he has no issues with it whatsoever. His velocity's been great. His slider has been wicked. It doesn't make any difference. Righties, lefties, he's handled them all. Top of the order for Borucki here in the 8th.
Jonathan Villar, Jesus Aguilar, and Corey Dickerson for Miami. Good night for Villar, 2 for 3 with a walk, a stolen base, and RBI.
That's what Borucki has done so consistently. He's pitched ahead. He's held hitters to a 1 for 13. Right-handers 1 for 7, lefties 0 for 6.
And the changeup is always a weapon.
That's a great pitch. He's quickly ahead 0-2. He's got a lot of confidence pitching in this role. Villar fooled badly.
He's got some real bulldog in him, don't you think?
Yeah, he does.
I think trying to prove to people that he can be the guy he was 2 years ago. Look at that, 94 up around the hands. Villar swings through it, 1 down.
And he's looking back at Borucki because he was 1 for 5 against him. He's faced Ryan. He says, where did you get that fastball? But his velocity has ticked up, and he strikes out Villar. 3 pitches. Fastball, changeup, fastball. And Villar looked back at him as if to say, are you the same Ryan Borucki I faced a couple of years ago?
Here's Aguilar, 2 for 4, a couple of base hits. He's driven in 3 runs tonight as he pulls 1 foul. 3 in the first for Miami, then 5 in the top of the 3rd. And what I think we could safely say is the ugliest half inning of baseball that the Blue Jays have had this year. That made it 8-0. But then Teoscar Hernandez homered in the 3rd, made it 8-2. Rowdy Tellez homered in the 4th, made it 8-4. Then the Blue Jays gave some back. Jacob Waguespack was charged with some runs. Miami got 3 in the 5th inning, made it 11-4, and kind of again made it feel like a game-over situation. But then the home runs just kept on coming. This one pulled foul as well. 2-run shot, Travis Shaw in the 5th, 11-6. 2-run shot in the 6th, Danny Jansen, 11-8. And then a solo shot by Vladimir Guerrero in the 7th, and it's 11-9. And this is the first time, Buck, in the history of the Toronto Blue Jays that they have homered in 5 consecutive innings.
Yeah, it's been quite a show they've put on tonight. 9 runs on 15 hits and 5 homers. Guillermo Martinez, the hitting coach, is finally going to be able to take a deep breath. He was waiting for these guys to get it going. Wilmer Font starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays.
Two, and a little bit high, a full count.
Aguilar is trying to regroup right now after that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Clear his mind, make up his mind as to what to look for. Lefty Corey Dickerson is on deck. Through a changeup, and a good one. Ryan hasn't shied away from using all 3 of his pitches. His changeup has always been a great pitch for him as a starter, and now he's using it out of the bullpen.
Another 3-2 pitch on the way. And he got him inside corner. Aguilar doesn't like it. There have been a number of complaints about the strike zone tonight. More from the Marlins, and Aguilar is not happy.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Baraki here in the 8th. And Ryan threw a changeup on the previous pitch and then pounds that fastball inside. And Aguilar, of course, thought it was off the plate inside. Boy, he drives that ball right through the zone. And Aguilar was ready to toss the bat aside, thinking it was ball 4, and then he hears the umpire call it a strike.
So 2 down. Here's Corey Dickerson, who's 1 for 3 with a walk. The Blue Jays will send up Bo Bichette, Travis Shaw, and Teoscar Hernandez in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Bichette's already 4 for 4 in this game. Well, I think if I'm a hitter in this game, I'm swinging if anything's close on either edge right now. But
yeah, it's been a little generous strike zone for sure. And Ryan hasn't thrown that good slider yet. Fastball changeup to this point, 2 outs. Here it comes. Oh, he tried to throw it too hard. Got away from it. Call it again, Danny.
No,
Ryan knows what he has to do to make it a good one.
Yeah, these two know each other very well. They're great buddies. And I would imagine they're on the same page almost all the time. I think he did call it again. In the air to center field. Grichuk going back and has room. And Baraki retires the Marlins in order in the top of the 8th. Here comes Bo. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Hazel and Joe in the Samsung studio.
Home runs in 5 innings. Teoscar got it started in the 3rd with a 2-run shot. Rowdy Tellez goes way back in the 4th, a 2-run home run. And then Travis Shaw goes opposite field. Danny Jansen said, I'm into this too. Hits a home run in the 6th, a 2-run shot. And Vladdy goes opposite field in the 7th. 5 home runs in 5 consecutive innings. First time in franchise history the Jays have done that. A terrific offensive night, including the 2nd career 4-for-4 game for Bo Bichette.
Yeah, he doesn't have a home run, but he has had 4 sharp singles tonight. He'll face Brad Boxberger, pretty tough customer. The Blue Jays saw him for an inning last night.
Boxberger pitched the 9th inning. Gave up an infield hit to Grichuk, but then got a double play off the bat of Joe Panik. Bo's swinging it, and why not?
The Blue Jays with 9 runs on 15 hits tonight, out hitting the Marlins 15-10, but 2 costly errors by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And obviously they didn't get the pitching they wanted to early from Nate Pearson. But here's a fly ball, and Bo Bichette, his 5th hit of the game, and he has joined the home run crowd. What a monster night for Bo Bichette, and the Blue Jays are within 1.
Home runs in 6 straight innings, and for the first time in his career, and we were going to say this again, he has a 5-hit game, 5 for 5 for Bichette. His 4th home run of the season, and the Blue Jays have homered in 6 straight innings.
He crushed that ball.
I mean, this was gone from the moment he squared it up. That's a good start to the bottom of the 8th. What a night for Bo Bichette.
6 consecutive innings with a home run. And 6 consecutive games with an extra base hit for Bo Bichette. And it's 11-10.
They were down 8-0, and it didn't look very good. They weren't playing well, but boy, oh boy, you got to give the players a lot of credit. They have hung in there. Now you got to finish the job.
Travis Shaw has one of these home runs tonight. Right now, you're in the minority if you haven't hit a home run tonight. And Shaw drills one to deep right. and he has tied the game. Second of the night for Shaw, and the Blue Jays have come all the way back.
What a game. The Jays were down 8-0. Probably thinking about the off day tomorrow. Said, oh, well, we'll get them on Friday. But the players just hung in there. They kept battling. They kept swinging. And I guarantee you, Bo Bichette was in the middle of that dugout and said, hey, fellas, we got a lot of game left. And they are right back in it. It's a brand new ball game here in the 8th.
I mean, you've seen a lot of baseball, Buck. This has got to be one of the strangest games you've ever seen.
Absolutely. I mean, they played so poorly to start the game. A 2-homer game for Shaw, his 4th career 2-home run game. He hit one to left, and for good measure, he goes way back in right. This one is tagged.
What an unbelievable game so far. The Blue Jays have come back from an 8-0 deficit. They've hit 7 home runs. And Bichette and Shaw go back-to-back to tie the game here in the 8th inning. They couldn't have played worse for the first 2.5 innings.
It was awful.
Couldn't have played worse. And they've tied it up. Now Teoscar.
Remember, Travis Shaw ran into an out in the first inning.
Yep.
And then they got poor pitching. They had a horrible 3rd inning that led to 5 runs. A couple of errors early in the game. But they never, ever quit.
Strike zone remains wide both ways. Brandon Kinsler is now up in the pen for the Marlins. Teoscar 1 for 4 with a homer. Home run a cut, but he comes up empty. It's 1-2. And now that the Blue Jays have tied it, Jordan Romano has just gotten up in the bullpen.
Remember Anthony Bass, the closer, pitched last night. Threw a lot of pitches, 22 pitches in 2/3 of an inning. So he's not available. So they pass the baton to Romano. Tell you what, there have been some good things that have happened in this game after the 3rd inning for the Blue Jays. Shun Yamaguchi came in and shut the door. 2 1/3, 4 strikeouts, didn't give up a hit, didn't walk a batter. Ryan Barucki had a 1-2-3 8th inning, and the offense has been ridiculous.
Led by Bo Bichette, as now Hernandez lines a ball to center field, but Sierra is there for out number 1.
Beauty Tone is the official paint of the Toronto Blue Jays. Only available at Home Hardware. Here's how.
Crazy, crazy game for Buffalo. Dan Shulman, Buck Martinez, Arash Madani, Hazel Majo Siddle as well. The Blue Jays down 8-0, have tied it at 11. 7 home runs in this game. As Gurriel slashes one foul.
Well, the Blue Jays have come back from large deficits in the past. I remember this from the last time in Cincinnati. They were down 8-0 in the top of the 3rd, ended up winning 14-9. And that one when Aroldis Chapman was in the game, and they got to him later on. But the largest deficit that they've come back from and won was at Boston, June 4th, 1989. They were down 10-0, top of the 7th, and came back and won 13-12, 13-11 in 12 innings. But I remember that Cincinnati game. That was really something. I think Edwin went deep off of Chapman, but what a game. The offense has hung in there.
And that guy right there, 5 for 5, 4 singles and a home run. Good take there by Gurriel. 3 balls and a strike. Make him come to you. Shaw's got a couple of home runs in this game on the heels of his game-winning hit last night. He came to him, but he took it. 3-2. a swing and a miss. A bit late there was Gurriel, 2 down.
A couple of good fastballs from Boxberger. Second out of the inning. He just missed that 92-mile-an-hour heater.
So now with 2 down, it'll be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but Don Mattingly is on his way to the mound. That's going to be all for Boxberger. He wants to bring in a Kinsler to face Vladdy. It runs, and Don Mattingly just keeps trying new pitchers. It'll be Brandon Kinsler now.
Kinsler will make his 6th career appearance against the Blue Jays. This is his 6th game of the season. And he has been their closer. He last worked against the Orioles through an inning, gave up 3 hits and a run. He signed a 1-year contract as a free agent here in February this year. Vladdy, he went opposite field, home run his last time up.
His 2nd of the season, 1 of 7 home runs tonight for the Blue Jays. 2 down to the bases empty, bottom 8. And a little bit high for ball 1. Sharply hit and through the right side, a base hit for Guerrero, and the go-ahead run is on base with 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th.
2-hit game for Vladdy. Vladdy stays back on that fastball and slaps it through the right side of the infield.
And the Blue Jays, Charlie Montoyo has sent Anthony Alford out to run. And you know what? If you're going to put him out there,
yeah,
send him,
he's
right?
got the green light.
Yeah.
He has definitely got the green light. He'll be able to run if he gets a good jump.
Randall Grichuk is the batter. Grichuk tonight is 2 for 3 with a walk. Still looking for his first extra base hit of the season. Alford the lead at first. And he draws a throw.
The last time the Blue Jays hit 7 home runs in a game was 1998, August 19th at Seattle. They've had 1 8-home run game and 1 10-home run game.
Which is the major league record. Against Baltimore in '87, is that right?
Yeah.
It's amazing the things you can remember, but I get lost on my way home today. It's unbelievable.
Get a good jump, Anthony.
Not going. They'll appeal, and he went around, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, he did. I got to pitch out right now if I'm Don Mattingly. I don't see it very often, but Anthony's got to take a shot trying to steal a base. That's why he's in here.
Not going. And it's strike 3 called. So that didn't work out as planned, but the Blue Jays do hit a couple of home runs. Is the place to get all your baseball action. In-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboard standings, and much more. Download the MLB app today, the #1 app for live baseball. As crazy a game as you'll see moves into the top of the 9th inning in Buffalo, Jordan Romano is on to pitch for the Blue Jays.
Boy, Romano has been nearly perfect. 11 strikeouts in 8 innings. He has yet to give up a base hit. Travis Shaw moves from third to first base defensively. Vladdy Guerrero was taken out for the pinch runner Anthony Alford, and Brandon Drury comes off the bench to take over at third.
And Lewis Brinson is going to bat for the Marlins here. He will come in as a pinch hitter for Matt Joyce. And a slider in there for a strike from Romano. In our efforts to try to desperately keep track of this crazy game in our scorecard. I'm worried that I missed something here about with Brinson hitting for Joyce.
No, he hasn't been in the game.
Yeah. Must be something wrong with Joyce.
Romano uses that good fastball to get ahead. This has been a tough game for both managers. It was tough early for Charlie Montoya, and it's been tough late for Don Mattingly.
And we've seen a bit of a pattern from Romano because we see him every game where the first pitch slider is up in the zone, meant to be a called strike, and then once he gets to 2 strikes, he's trying to bury that slider, get him to chase.
Yeah, but he used his fastball to get ahead of Brinson here. And then he threw that slider down and away. That's a wicked breaking ball. That thing goes straight down. You know, that's an old-fashioned Ron Guidry kind of slider. Sparky Lau, Ron Guidry threw those sliders that are straight over the top. And you know what? Juan Guzman threw one like that, too. A lot of people thought Guzman threw a splitter because that breaking ball goes straight down, and that's how Romano gets on top of it. This is a slider that goes straight down. No chance at all for Brinson.
At 92 miles an hour. Now Brian Anderson. Blue Jay fans have come to see how dangerous he is the last couple of nights. Slider for a strike.
Romano can use the high fastball on this guy. He elevates the fastball, and especially after that first pitch slider. Anderson has struck out 3 times after homering in the first. Too high.
You got the shift on for Anderson. You can see Biggio's on the shortstop side of the bag. 18 hits for the Blue Jays, 7 home runs as they come back from an 8-0 deficit to tie the game at 11. Overthrew that one.
Yeah. Trying to make the perfect pitch with the slider and threw it in the left-handed hitter's box.
And as you've said about other pitchers, but it really applies here, he doesn't have to make the perfect pitch.
No. Not when you come out throwing 98 to start the at-bat.
Two and two.
A little more patient with that breaking ball, and it still had the late break. There are 2 different sliders, 2 distinct sliders. The one he threw to Brinson might have been the best slider he's thrown all year. That thing went straight down.
Brinson would vote for it, that it was, I would think.
It's the best one he's seen all year.
Pretty good check right there by Anderson, and the count is full. Choking up quite a bit.
Yeah, he really choked up, and he was able to control that bat hit.
Pulled down to third. Drury across to Shaw for the second out.
Boy, Brandon is a terrific defender, and you come off the game in the 9th inning, and you get a hot shot, and he had no problem whatsoever. He can really play third base.
So 2 down here in the top of the 9th. And the batter is Francisco Cervelli. Hit the 3-run homer in the 9th inning last night. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of walks tonight. A little looper drops into center field, a base hit. That is the first hit given up this year by Romano in 8 2/3 innings.
And it was a high slider, that slider you were talking about, that he throws early in the at-bat to get ahead. And Cervelli delivers a 2-out base hit, and you can see it's in the strike zone, but it's high, and he's able to put the bat on the ball, and that's Dan mentioned. That's the first hit he has given up.
So the go-ahead run at first with 2 down. Eddie Alvarez is the batter, 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. 11-11 tie in the top of the 9th in Buffalo. And again, the slider that he tries to throw for his strike, but he doesn't get the call here. It's called high, and it's ball one. Wow. Down and in. A lot of late break there, and it's 1-1. Cervelli being held on by Shaw. They play Alvarez to pull on the infield as Romano misses high with a fastball, ball two. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, Rowdy Tellez, Danny Jansen, and Kevin Biggio scheduled for the Blue Jays. And if anybody were to reach, it would be Bo Bichette, who's already got 5 hits in this game. Two and two.
You mentioned the first hit that Romano surrendered came to the 30th batter he faced to start the season. He had faced 27 batters coming into this inning, got the 2 batters, Brinson, the pinch hitter, and Anderson, before Cervelli got a hit. So he didn't give up a hit until he faced the 30th batter of the season. That's a franchise record to start a season.
And the runner into second on the play. Now everybody's scampering for third because with the shift on, they didn't want Cervelli to take another base. So Cervelli steals second, and the count is now full on Alvarez. I mean, a lot of them are, but he's just really into the game all the time. Cervelli, he is alert at all times.
He's a great player.
He's fun to watch.
He's not an everyday player on a real good team at this point of his career, but he's quite an asset. Now he's going to be lifted for a pinch runner.
And he's perfect for a team like that.
Yeah. This is Monty Harrison, who played center field last night, but once Cervelli stole the base and got himself into scoring position in the 9th inning, they go with a real burner in Monty Harrison.
So a full count on Alvarez. The right-hand hitting John Birdie is in the on-deck circle. Three-two. Got him. Went after a high fastball, and the side is retired. And the Blue Jays will come 11 going to the bottom of the ninth. Never thought we'd be in this kind of a situation calling the game. Dan Shulman to Buck Martinez. Just to finish up an earlier story, there's my number 3 candle that I told you Scott Carson bought me to remind me of the 3-batter rule. But we're not going to talk about that now. We're not going to need that now. We're just going to talk about one of the craziest games we've ever seen.
Absolutely. I wanted to leave after the 3rd inning, but then they sent 9 men to the plate, and they were booting it around, getting picked off base, making errors and everything else. But boy, the home run has got them back in this game again.
They have hit 7 in the game. Ryan Lavarnway is on to catch after Francisco Cervelli was lifted for a pinch runner, and Lewis Brinson will stay in the game in left field for the Marlins. And the Blue Jays will send up one of the guys to lead it off here in the bottom of the 9th, who has already homered tonight, in Rowdy Tellez. 3 for 4 with a homer and a couple of doubles for Rowdy. He'll be followed by Danny Jansen and Kevin Biggio, and if anybody reaches, Bo Bichette. Check the swing and a ball outside. Now Lavarnway asked for it after the fact. No swing, so it is 1-1 on Rowdy.
Yeah, he clearly checked his swing. He's been seeing the ball very well all night long.
To left field. Twisting toward the corner, but it is foul.
Well, he got enough of it, didn't it?
Wow, didn't miss by all that
much.
much.
Was slicing on him.
He's played a lot of games in this ballpark. Spent basically the better part of 2 full seasons playing at Salem Field.
Guys coming out of the dugout to watch whether or not it's fair or foul, and they thought maybe it hit a walk-off home run. Look at everybody's out to help the umpires. They had a similar one like this in last night's game. Logan Forsythe hit one almost in the same direction. Everybody thinks he's got a chance. He certainly hit it far enough.
Or if they walk it off, the celebration would be a little bit bigger than your typical regular season win.
Absolutely. Down 8-0. It'll be the second time they have come back from an 8-run deficit. The largest deficit they have come back from is 10 runs. Rowdy Tellez has 3 two-homer games. Number 4 would win it.
This will get out of play.
You talk about emotions. This game has had all kinds of emotions for individuals, for the coaching staff, both managers, and the broadcasters. Got a little bit of everything. How about those two guys?
Wow. Romano, another scoreless inning. Barucki, another overpowering scoreless inning. Struck out a couple. A bouncer to the right side. And Tellez retired, one down.
Well, one thing that has happened now is we have one out here in the 9th inning. The Blue Jays have lost their extra inning pinch runner, Anthony Alford. He came into the ball game in the 8th inning running for Vladdy Guerrero, and Randall Grichuk struck out on 3 pitches. Danny Jansen's had another good night.
Yeah, and even more immediately, like say Jansen were to double here, you don't have Alford anymore. Your only 2 bench guys that are left are Panik and McGuire. They brought Alford in to pinch run with 2 out in the 8th inning. He was at first, and Grichuk struck out on 3 pitches. Alford never tried to steal as Jansen lifts a fly ball to right center field. But a room for birdie, and he is there, 2 down.
Now here's an interesting situation. Kevin Biggio will bat with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Should he be retired, he would be the runner at second.
Right.
And then they'd walk Bo Bichette.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get on base here, Kevin.
Weekly hit up the first baseline, and he will not as the Blue Jays go 1, 2, 3. And for the second night in a row, the Marlins and Blue Jays are going to extra innings. Blue Jays Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. First pitch just after 6:30 Eastern time, and you can see it on Sportsnet 1. Tanner Roark, right, on Friday. Roark Friday, Chase Anderson Saturday, Matt Shoemaker Sunday.
Yep. That's the rotation set up for the weekend series against Tampa Bay. What a game. 11-11. 22 runs on 29 hits, and now Rafael Dolis will make his 8th appearance of the season, and he has been throwing very well lately. Barucki and Romano did a terrific job, as did Shunyan Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi went 2 1/3 and didn't give up anything.
And John Birdie is going to lead it off. Eddie Alvarez is the runner out at second to begin the top of the 10th inning.
Dolis had a 1-2-3 7th inning in the game last night. He faced Brian Anderson, Francisco Cervelli, and Lewis Brinson. Alvarez has speed. Got to keep an eye on him.
Trying to bunt. The unusual strategy for the road team. You see it occasionally for the home team when the road team didn't score in the top half of the inning. That's what the Blue Jays did last night with Danny Jansen. You do not see it very often at all for the road team. Because of course you're theoretically just not playing for 1 run here in the top half of the inning. You need as many as you can get.
You give the home team a chance to tie it up with a single run in the bottom half of the inning. I think he might have been bunting for a base hit, bunting on his own. Oh, he squares the sack right here. This is a bit unusual. He's the 8th hitter, and that has a lot to do with it. Where you are in the lineup, Sierra is in the 9th spot. The only guy on their bench is Logan Forsythe. He's a right-handed hitter. As you see, Josh Smith loosening up.
1-1. We'll see if Birdie tries to bunt again.
Shaw and Drury are guarding against the bunt, and he bunts it to third. And
oh, boy.
Drury broke back for the base. A little bit of confusion there as Dolis. That's his coverage, but it was bunted past him. On that play, the pitcher breaks straight toward the third base foul line because the first baseman is crashing, and he bunts it hard enough. I don't know if Dolis broke off the mound to get over there, but Drury went back to third, anticipating the pitcher was going to get it. And you can see Dolis kind of broke more toward home than he did toward the foul line. I don't know if he could have gotten it depending on the angle he took, but now it's first and third with nobody out.
So probably an even better result than the Marlins could have hoped for. And here's Magneuris Sierra with the runners on the corners and nobody out, top 10.
The infield is in at the edge of the grass.
And he bunts, but he pushes it foul. They're putting the pressure on the infield.
Yeah, they sure are, and he's got such good speed, and just trying to find a hole on that infield. I mean, when's the last time you saw a squeeze bunt? I wouldn't put anything past Don Mattingly.
Yeah, the Rays like to run this play where it's in effect a safety squeeze, right? So the runner at first is going, you got a fast guy, left-handed batter at the plate, and you're just trying to create as much havoc on the infield as you can and hope that they can't complete the play, that the defense can't make a play. Alvarez at third, Birdie at first, and nobody out.
Two of their best base runners with Alvarez and Birdie. And speed at the plate.
0-2. That's one way to take the bunt out of play.
And now you got to strike him out. Don't let him put the bat on the ball. Throw him that good splitter, get the strikeout.
Boy, it's not going to get any easier, though. Villar's on deck and Aguilar behind him. Villar can do some things with the bat, too, and he's got speed.
He's got speed. He's a tough guy to double up.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I don't know that I was a real big fan of the extra inning rule. I'm learning to like it.
I'm with you.
Yeah. It's really interesting. It's creating a lot of strategy.
I bet you the younger generation likes it a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No offense.
Thanks.
0-2 is blocked by Jansen. On his way to second on the play is Birdie.
Birdie's a good base runner, and he picked up immediately when that ball hit the dirt. He broke for second base. You know what? That might not be a bad thing. So now if you can get Sierra out, pop him up, strike him out, you can walk VR and pitch to Aguilar. All of these things, and this is when your bench coach really becomes valuable. You got to be talking in your ear the whole time. Things come at you fast.
1-2 the count. Golfed into right center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. And the Marlins are going to take the lead on that bloop single as a couple of runs come in to score.
Number 9 hitter stayed with it. Hit it off the end of the bat and hit it into no man's land. And with these guys running, you could see it's a splitter, but he stays with it. It's a good pitch. You could see it's a ball down. Jansen went down to block it, thinking it was going to be in the dirt. But the infield is in. Nobody can get to this ball. I mean, you couldn't place it better than Sierra did with that hit.
Well, a bunt single, and then a little two-strike bloop single, and a couple of runs across for the Marlins. They lead 13-11. And now a wild throw at first gets down the line. And putting the brakes on and heading back to second on the play is Sierra. So it's starting to look like the first 2.5 innings of the game again after the Blue Jays fought so hard to get back into this one.
Yeah, even the bunt play, and we couldn't see Dolis where he went. Here's a look at that throw, and the ball gets away. Not sure whether Shaw had a chance to make a play there, but went off his glove, and Sierra moves into second. But on that bunt play by Birdie, we couldn't really see if Dolis broke immediately toward the third base foul line, but Birdie bunted it perfectly between the mound and third base.
The air is charged to Dolis, and now a bunt out in front of the plate. The only play is to first. They'll get VR, but they'll advance Sierra to third. So they're playing for one more run here to try to take a 3-run lead.
VR squares around and bunts it right out in front of home. Moves the runner over to third.
And now the infield is going to come in for the Blue Jays. It looks like they're going to pitch to Aguilar. Infield is in and the shift is on with Biggio just to the left of second base.
Corey Dickerson, a left-handed hitter, is on deck.
And a line drive that drops in front of Hernandez for a base hit, and it is 14-11.
Aguilar's third hit of the night drives in another big run for Miami here in the 10th. It's now a 3-run lead for the Marlins. And an RBI single in the third, had a base hit in the 5th, and now he picks up another RBI here in the 10th.
And all that work that the Blue Jays did to come back and tie it, it's not over yet. They get their hacks in the bottom half of the inning, but all of a sudden they're down 3 again. Nobody up in the Blue Jay bullpen as far as we can tell. And it looks like the way Charlie turned right there that maybe he was going to ask Pete Walker to get somebody up. A game of extremes. Some real highs and some real lows for the Blue Jays in this game. And right now the lows are outweighing the highs a little bit, and that's why they're down by 3.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Early on in the game, they fell behind by 8-0. Then they stormed back, and the home runs got them back in the game. And now here, they give up a 3 spot in the top of the 10th, and they're still just 1 out.
One to Dickerson. And a little bit late right there, 1-2. The Blue Jays will send up Bichette, Shaw, and Hernandez as Wilmer Font gets up for the second time tonight. And Josh Smith looks like he'll get the work in the bottom half of the inning for the Marlins. Just past the 4-hour mark in this crazy game. Ground ball to third. Drury to second. On to first. Not in time. There's no realistic chance to turn it, but they do force the lead runner 2 down.
It's a 2-seam fastball. It runs down and away from Dickerson. He hustles out of the box, and all they can get is that lead runner. Not much of a chance for Bichette.
So Dickerson is aboard on the fielder's choice. And with 2 down, it'll be Lewis Brinson getting his second at bat. Pinch hit an inning ago for Matt Joyce. I would think the list of teams that has, and they haven't lost it yet, still got a chance, but the list of teams that has hit 7 home runs in a game and lost would be a pretty short list in the history of Major League Baseball. That's maybe the best pitch that he's thrown so far tonight. Got a feel for him a little bit, the bunt single and then the 2-strike. You know, Sierra going down and golfing one off the dirt into shallow right field, but give the Marlins credit, too. They put the pressure on the Blue Jays with the way they were handling the bat.
Yeah. They did a nice job as they had their speedy second baseman out to start the inning.
And whatever those insects are, they are everywhere right now. And you can see that the players are being impacted by it a little bit. 0-2, the count on Brinson. Tell you, Danny Jansen's going to use a day off tomorrow after the last couple of nights.
Yeah, he's had a lot of balls in the dirt that he's had to go down and block, and he has done a good job of. Plays that one perfectly.
Another block, 2-2.
That ball is not really a competitive pitch, as this is a slider that he just buries well in front of home plate.
And the 2-2. Looks like he went, but on the appeal they say no, and it's a full count.
Vincent entered the game as a pinch hitter, and that was a pretty good check on a nasty pitch. Mattingly sent him up there in the 9th inning, and he struck out against Jordan Romano. Josh Smith standing by ready in the Marlins pen.
And he walked him. And the frustration continues for Dolis. And here comes Charlie. So Wilmer Font will come in after Dolis could not get the third out. Blue Jays already down by 3. Find a way to get this third out here in the top of the 10th inning.
It's the 15th pitcher to pitch in this game tonight, and unfortunately we had one injury. Mike Moran got one out and then injured himself. He had to leave the game, but the Blue Jays have used 7. The Marlins have used 8, and Font's in here with 2 outs in the top of the 10th.
Dickerson is at second. Brinson is at first. And the batter was Brian Anderson, 1 for 5. The one was a home run, 3-run shot off Nate Pearson back in the first. Hard to believe this is the game that Nate Pearson started. That seemed like it was about 10 days ago. The way
Boy, it does, huh?
But Nate started tonight, and unfortunately for him, it didn't go well. 2 1/3, 5 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned. A Guerrero error was mixed in the middle of that, and he walked 4. He just did not have his command tonight. Font was good for the Blue Jays last year in a variety of roles, but he has been unable to reproduce those kinds of results here so far in the 2020 season.
Now, Wilmer pitched in Boston on Saturday through 18 pitches in that outing.
.96 at the knees, and it's 1-2. And the Marlins dugout is barking again about the strike zone. There's been a fair bit of unhappiness with the strike zone tonight.
Yeah, and it really is magnified because Danny Jansen was calling for the high pitch. It's a low pitch, and he had to go down to catch it, and you could hear all the Marlins from their bench getting on the home plate umpire. Pitched 2/3 of an inning against the Red Sox on Saturday. He left the game with 2 aboard, but Anthony Kay came in and stranded those 2 base runners.
Marlins have an off day tomorrow as well. They are going home to host Atlanta on Friday night. It'll be the first time they get back to Miami in more than 3 weeks.
Yeah, they've had a long road trip, including being quarantined in Philadelphia. And actually, they took 3 busloads of sick Marlins back to Miami.
From Philly. That's a long way to go.
Yeah.
Long ride. Runners will be on the move. 3-2. Popped him up. Shaw coming over. Won't have a play. So apparently, Buck, there have only been 3 teams ever who have hit 7 home runs in a game and lost, and one of them was the 2016 White Sox that did it against the Blue Jays. The other 2 were the Tigers, one in 2004, one in 1995. Doesn't happen very often.
7 home runs. Yeah, you wouldn't expect it, but they were down 8-0.
Homered in 6 consecutive innings to come all the way back in tie. But unless they can mount a rally, all for naught. Runners going again, swing and a miss, and the side is retired. Well, let's see what they can do. They got the right guy leading it off. That guy's got 5 hits already in the game. Chet gets overshadowed a little bit by the fact that the Blue Jays lost the game. They need 3 runs to tie here, but look at what Bo has done. 5 for 5, 4 singles, a home run, 3 runs scored, and 2 stolen bases on top of it all.
Yeah, he's had some night. Absolutely has been on his game. He's been on everything. He's the 5th Blue Jay player in history with 5 hits, 3 runs scored, a home run in 1 game. Joins Colby Rasmus, Corey Patterson, Frank Catalanato, and Roy Howe from 1977.
Josh Smith is into the game. Now for the Marlins in the bottom of the 10th. He is, by our count, the 9th pitcher of the night for Miami. Was signed as a free agent in the winter. Spent 2019 in the Red Sox system. Made a couple of starts for the Red Sox, but spent most of the year at AAA.
He's actually pitched 4 games against the Blue Jays. So he is on here trying to close things out.
Bo Bichette, Travis Shaw, Teoscar Hernandez. The Marlins just got 3 in the top of the 10th to lead 14-11. The only 6-hit game in Blue Jay history belongs to Frank Catalanato. Biggio is the runner out at second.
Josh Smith has one career save. It came last year while pitching for the Boston Red Sox. This would be a save situation here in the 10th. Kinsler is the pitcher of record for Miami.
And taking a low ball 2.
Hey, one guy gets on, the tying runs at the plate.
That's the crazy thing. I was just thinking the exact same thing. Oh, they're down 3. What are the chances?
Yeah.
One guy gets on, they're tying. It's crazy. And the guy who's on deck's hit a couple of home runs already tonight.
Well, that's a good take.
Yeah. Because when you got 5 hits on the night, you want to be swinging.
No, but he understands. He's got to get on base.
Travis Shaw with a couple of homers. He was taken all the way, or it looked like it. He did flinch a little bit, but didn't like what he saw. A little wrinkle on that ball, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, I think he was taken through a slider, 3-1.
Three and 2.
A good fastball there. A good cut at this pitch. Just a 4-seam fastball down around the knees.
Time was called. So Biggio out at second, Bichette the batter, Shaw on deck, Teoscar Hernandez behind him, and the Blue Jays need 3 to tie. And ball 4, and the tying run will come to the plate.
I just don't get that. I just can't understand how you could throw a 3-2 slider to bring the tying run to the plate, a left-handed hitter that's already homered tonight. If Bo hits it 600 feet, you still got a 1-run lead.
Yeah.
And you start with nobody on base. Now you brought the tying run to the plate with nobody out.
The only thing I can think of is in talking to some pitchers over the years, they've said, you know, getting your fastball hit is the worst thing that can happen to a pitcher. And some guys just don't think they can get swings and misses with their fastball enough, so they think they have to trick a hitter. But I hear you. Here's Shaw. A 2-run shot in the 5th, his first as a Blue Jay and his 100th career homer. And then he backed it up with a solo shot in the 8th. That was the home run that tied the game at 11. Oh, and 2. Now, there's a chance this is going to get around to Guerrero's spot in the order. Remember, Vladdy was lifted for a pinch runner in the 8th inning. And Brandon Drury is in that spot right now. And still 3 batters away, though. A lot could happen between now and then. Got a piece of it, and it's foul.
Tough slider right there, and Travis was able to foul it off. 2 homers, 2 strikeouts, and a walk for Travis. That one right off the end of the bat to 78 miles an hour. Let's see his curveball.
Oh, 2. Fouls off another one. Danny Jansen's had a long night, a long couple of nights behind the plate. Who only knows how many pitches he's got, but he's had a couple of hits and a home run tonight.
Back-to-back extra inning games.
And strike three called. I guess crossed him up with a fastball after he'd seen all those sliders.
Yeah, he just went right at him with this fastball. It's a four-seamer, and Travis just couldn't pull a trigger, looking for a breaking ball.
So Shaw down on strikes for the first out of the bottom of the 10th, and now the batter will be Teoscar Hernandez. He too has homered tonight, 1 for 5. Biggio, the runner at second, Bichette aboard at first, tying run at the plate. Ball one, close but no.
Pitch. Yeah, you can see Smith asking the home plate umpire where it was. Roberto Ortiz is hearing it again from the Miami dugout. They've been on him pretty hard all night.
One and one. Well, he's thrown two pretty good pitches to Teoscar. A steady diet of sliders away from righties is what Teoscar Hernandez sees.
Came into this series with a .455 average against fastballs.
Got a fastball, but he's popped it up.
Boy, that thing stayed up there forever, didn't it?
Yeah. And the Blue Jays are down to their final out. So Josh Smith will face Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who represents the tying run. Gurriel is 1 for 5 at a single way back in the second. Teoscar, he's kind of hanging his head on his way back to the dugout. Felt he should have gotten a little bit more of that high fastball. Yanked foul. Kind of hung that one over the inside corner.
Yeah, it stayed inside, and Gurriel was out in front of it. You see, it just kind of broke straight down. That was a curveball. Down and away, a ball and a strike. If Gurriel can get on, Joe Panik would come up as a pinch hitter for Brandon Drury. A ball and a strike. 1-2 now on to Gurriel. Well, that was a tough pitch right there. Smith threw a great slider just on the outside corner. And now the Jays are down to their final strike in this wild game that saw them trailing 8-0, fight all the way back to tie it at 11, only to give up 3 runs in the top half of the 10th. With Travis Shaw, Smith threw a fastball with 2 strikes and locked him up after throwing a steady diet of breaking balls. And he gets him with a breaking ball. Gurriel strikes out, and the Marlins will win the game. 14-11 is the final score from Buffalo in spite of a great comeback and 7 home runs
And a 5-hit game for Bo Bichette. The Blue Jays cannot win it.
Yeah, what a tough game. Blue Jays got down early. They didn't play very well the first part of the game. Bo Bichette has a career-high 5 hits, including a home run. And Miami blew an 8-run lead. The Blue Jays came back and hit 7 home runs in the game. But in the end, it was a big inning in the 10th for the Marlins, and they have split the 2-game series here.
Day off for the Blue Jays. We'll see you for the opener of the series against the Rays on Friday night. Time now for Sportsnet Central. Here are Ken and Carly.